on and go. The packets are now traveling through the interweb.
And so that's why I'm no longer allowed to go to Chuck E. Cheese.
Well, that and the beard. Hello, everybody. Good morning. Welcome to Tech Talk. It is a beautiful Saturday, 7/3 at 10:05 a.m., only slightly late. David will probably be joining us for a little while here in the future. He's currently out getting his son tagged and vaccinated so that the government can track him through his Bill Gates implanted chip. And man, I'm jealous, man. My kid's got to wait because they just set the limit right above his age. So like Xander's 11 and 12 is the lowest. Yeah. So I'm like, damn it, just lower it one more year. More year, because we don't want to like take him, and do any like traveling or go to like Disneyland or anything like that until he's all vaxxed up. Know what I'm saying?
Nice.
All right, let me go ahead and start tweeting out the stream so that people know that we're here. Let's see here. We are live. Oh, you guys do it too. You guys do it too if you're in chat.
You have to. Or
oh wow, you turned into the Matrix again. Say I am Neo.
Why?
I am Neo in the Matrix, and my compression artifacts know no bounds.
Yeah, I don't know. Here, let's see if this helps.
Every time. Oh, you're back. Look at that.
Weird,
dude. You mitigated the problem.
It's gotta be like my connection to the OBS Ninja thing, or Vido Ninja. Now I guess they went through a rebranding. They're no longer OBS Ninja.
They did. I actually had to go to I didn't have to. They said they're going to close down the obs.ninja site though. So they're like, point everything over to Video. So I just started doing it. I just updated my link. But I wonder why they're doing that. They didn't really say on the site why they're doing it. I wonder if it's because like there was confusion that OBS Ninja was associated with OBS, and maybe OBS was like, yeah, that's not good. Could you guys change it to something else? And they were like, yeah, whatevs. Yeah. Something like that. I bet that's how it went down.
Probably. Yeah.
All right. Let's
see. Pixel smearing. If you have pixel smearing or corrupted video, try adding and codec equals H264 or and codec equals VP9 to the OBS view link. Using Wi-Fi will make the issue worse. So
I'll try that. Wait, where's the comment? I'll try that again.
That was just right at Vito.ninja. Known issues. If you have,
let's go do that then. All right, let me go to the control room.
Pixelation as seen here. Yep, that's me. Yep.
All right, we're gonna fix this right now. Okay, so it said add codec
video.
It just says add it to the end. Okay, of the OBS scene. I got it. All right, so we're adding it right now. Codec H264. Give it a second, and there I am, and there you are. We switched sides, but let's see how this works.
Okay.
So cool. I just forced the codec.
Codec or video encoder used.
That's kind of weird though that it wants you to add codec VP9 or H264.
Yeah, I guess they say it just says that VP9 seems to handle packet loss the best, but it also creates the most CPU load. Not that you have to worry about that.
We don't care about CPU load up in here, man. We got all the tech. Well, here, let me just do that then. Let me switch it from H264 to VP9. Stand by. Well, we get our VP9 on. Okay, so you guys, let us know if you notice any difference in the video quality when I do this. 3, 2, back. Watch, we'll switch sides again. Nope, we're back. Yes. Okay. So now we're using the VP9 codec.
Sure. We'll try it out.
Man, this is what they like to call titties.
Science.
All right. Science. Let's see. Wait, you know what I don't have up on my screen? Son of a bitch. I don't have viewer activity up, so super chats are getting ignored. Okay, let's fix that. Hey, Scarlett DeLion, thank you for the $5. Said $5 for Jerry to finally admit he believes the earth is flat. For $5, I will openly admit to the world that I think the earth is flat for $5. Like, I mean, that's all anybody had to do this whole time to shut me up. Oh, I love our topic. It is so clickbait today. It's oceans on fire. Fire emoji.
It was.
That's
so crazy.
On fire, man.
That was.
But technically, was the ocean was well? I guess the ocean was kind of on fire, but it wasn't the source of the fire. It kind of makes it sound like there was like some kind of weird electrolysis event that released all the hydrogens and oxygens.
Yeah, nah,
dude. What would happen like if a solar flare hit the Earth and it was so hot that it boiled off the ocean, separated out all the hydrogen and the oxygen, and then exploded? Would we just turn into a star?
No, because that would require like a fusion reaction, right? And no. There's not
Well,
enough
those would be
material.
light elements, right?
And I'm sure maybe somebody will correct me, but one, not enough material to like, and it's not dense enough. And like Jupiter, maybe Jupiter's big enough. Jupiter's like got all the right stuff to be a star, but we're way too small. Too much of the heavier rocky stuff. No way.
It just wouldn't get hot enough.
It'd roast the atmosphere for sure. In fact, I think the atmosphere would blow up before the water like was able to split to hydrogen.
Interesting. Or like would the explosion just throw everything off into space as debris to like form new planets and stuff?
I don't think so. I don't think it would be like that cataclysmic, like where the planet would crack or anything. Nah.
Okay. It's a giant explosion, right? It's just there's so much gravity pulling it back in that like it can't escape, really. Right. So it's like, but you need that mass to begin with before you spark it and blow it up. Otherwise, it's all going to float off. Is that what you're going with?
Yeah. And we're talking massive. It's like 8 million Earths or something like that fit inside the volume of the sun. It's
I think the sun is
more
what,
than
100 times the diameter of the Earth or something like that.
How many Earths fit in the sun? 1.3 million.
1.3 million Earths. Okay, I guess I never looked at that.
That even still, I feel like, doesn't quite give the like scale. Like the true enormity of these things is like beyond real comprehension. Like you can say, oh yeah, 1 million Earths, but like most people don't even really have a firm emotional grasp of how large the Earth is, even. And then you're going to say, okay, 1 million of those is going to fit inside the sun. Like, those are.
I feel like we're not designed to like know that. Like
you can't.
Yeah, it's not like a primary thing. Like trying to understand the like depth and breadth of like just the universe, or even just our galaxy. Our own galaxy. It's like when you start to like think about it, it starts getting really, because you're like, wow, man, there's like more. There's literally more planets in our universe, just our visible universe. Not universe, galaxy. Just in our galaxy, there's more planets and planetary masses than there are grains of sand on the Earth.
Yeah.
Which is like, you start thinking about that and you're like, wow, that's like, and that's one galaxy, and how many like gajillions of galaxies there are in the universe. Like, it's wild.
Yeah.
It's also wild that they all organize the way they do. Like, because the magnetic poles of everything, it's like all the galaxies are like, they're mostly flat, right? They're mostly flat. The solar systems are flat. Everything wants to be in like this. Like, why don't we have like one planet going around like this and another planet going around like this? It's like, why do there? It does. But I'm just saying, like, it's rare.
Yeah.
And but orbits like want to be a certain way. Like these stable orbits more often than not want to be in like this really, really stable pattern where they're all in line, or not quite in line. Like they're off a little bit here and there. Well, they all try to come to center. You rarely see the one planet just like whipping around the poles of the sun while everything else is going around. It's like everything just kind of falls into its order based on its relationship and speed parallel to the sun or whatever. It's I don't know, man. Astrophysics like blow my mind. That's like
it's super
level of science. You have to just let go of everything, all your preconceived notions, all the things that you just observe with your eye. Because you can't just like study the entire universe with your eye, because like half the light from the universe isn't even visible to the human eye. It's like all the nebulas and shit we look at. It's like we point radio telescopes into the sky and like look at the what do they call it? Radiometry or whatever, like the non-visible radio spectrum. Like the non-visible light frequencies, like above and below. What do they call it? Like it's like above ultraviolet and then like below, like there's like or infrared. That's what I'm thinking. Infrared.
Oh, okay.
So like the light that we can't see, but it's like you point a telescope at this guy with like infrared enabled, and you see all these clouds and nebulas and everything in the universe. Now it just doesn't look like a bunch of specks of stars. It's like this really busy thing going on in the sky. It's just our visual spectrum only picks up the light that's coming from the stars. It's crazy. It's just crazy. So we just keep creating new technology that basically bridges that gap and becomes our eyes for us. Because like, is there any other animal in the animal kingdom that's like, you know what, we're gonna build some infrared goggles? Oh, we think this thing exists, but we can't see it or feel it or smell it. So we're gonna build a machine that can feel it, smell it, and and then tell us about it.
Yeah,
it's crazy, man. I love technology. I really do. Cool. Hey, Scarlett, thank you for that super chat. For those of you guys just joining us, David, he's going to be running a little bit late. He is getting his kid all vaccinated up against the COVID-19s and 20 and 21 and 22, which are on the way. Dude, you want to talk about something creepy? So, I've been watching So I don't want to call it like conspiracy theory stuff, but it kind of is a little bit. But I've been watching the stuff on the Wuhan viral lab that was just like completely just like played off as like, nah, the virus didn't come from there. No, it definitely came from like, the wilderness from these bats and stuff, which is still that still is the leading hypothesis, is that this transferred from, from bats to us, or from some animal to us. Okay. But apparently there is a lot more information now coming out of the freaking Wuhan lab that would indicate that there is a high probability that that's where it leaked from. Because the lab, there was a lot of stuff that wasn't publicly like divulged in the beginning. Like the lab was purposefully modifying COVID vaccines to make them more compatible with humans, like purposefully. Viruses. Yeah. I forget what they call it. There's a term for it. Like, but they're basically building like super viruses that attack humans so that they can practice making vaccines before those viruses exist in nature. Okay. So there's a good reason for it. I mean, it is a valid, like, area of research.
Not it was like, I imagine it's not an uncommon thing. There's probably we've probably got our own stuff doing something similar. So okay.
And then I guess in the 90s there was a Russian flu that escaped out of one of their viral labs in Russia and killed over 100,000 people. Wow. Called the Russian flu. You never hear about that one though. That one's not like in the list of everything. You don't hear about that one. So it's like, that's what it is. Gain of function testing. Thank you. That's exactly what it's called. Oh, okay. So not only was it like literally a couple of miles from the epicenter of where this whole thing started was one lab. They only have the one in all of China that does the specific testing with coronaviruses.
Makes sense.
And it's literally just a couple of miles from ground zero where this happened. And the wet market that they blamed and continued to blame through like most of the thing is like where this thing started. They claim that it's where it jumped from bats to pangolins. Apparently, this market never has had or sold pangolins. Huh. So like it's kind of weird when you look at it after all this stuff's passed. Because I was wondering like why Anthony Fauci was all like, it could have came out of a lab. Like I'm not ruling that out. Like it could have, right? It could have came out of a lab. And I'm like, dude, what the hell are you talking about, man? Everybody's been saying that it's this other thing, and it's and I'm like, what are you doing? Like, no, it obviously came from nature, and now it's looking like, there's a. There is a decent chance that this could have leaked out of a lab, but not like it's not intentional. I'm not saying it was like a conspiracy to try to like kill everybody on the planet or anything like that, but it just sounds like it was just, and the lab had like for the last 3 years has been begging for money to increase their security because they didn't have properly trained people handling these coronaviruses, which led to a lot of accidents and stuff in the lab. And this is the kicker. In 2019, right before this whole outbreak took off, 3 people from that lab were treated in the hospital with bad flu-like symptoms after an accident in the lab. So once you factor all that in, it's like, of course, none of it is direct evidence, but it's like pretty damn compelling that it's like, even though everybody was like, oh my God, tinfoil hats, it came out of the lab, blah, blah, blah. They made it so over the top. It was unbelievable. When you throttle it back and you're like, oh man, it's just an accident that happened in a freaking lab that just catastrophically got out of control. I mean, that's what viruses do after all. It sounds somewhat plausible.
I mean, it's like I can see where like somebody, left the door open or whatever, right? Yeah. And something like got out. I feel like it I feel like people
definitely not on purpose though. I mean, 100% not on purpose.
I feel like, look, okay, yes, China's kind of the bad guy, right? They're communists and they have like this totalitarian government and blah blah blah. Yeah, the Chinese government is the bad guy. But
I'm not defending China.
I still believe like that the general populace, like these scientists who are doing their work, are doing the best they can, right? They're not these like the evil mustache twisters. There's not some mad scientist out there going like, ha 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 ha, I'm gonna create this thing and like right? It's like
exactly. And the whole existence of that lab was to protect people from this type of outbreak. So why would they be the ones to like create it intentionally? Australia wanted to go and investigate this thing. They're like, just let us into the lab. Our virology team will go in there, from the World Health Organization or whatever. They're going to poke around and see if they find this type of coronavirus there. And they're like, no. And then they started sanctioning Australia after telling him no because they didn't want him to ask it. It's like, why would you not want them to come in and poke around and at least verify it?
Like I can see, exactly. So if this is the case, like, okay, hey, yeah, we were working on this thing. We were trying to get ahead of anything that's like, bad, like, whatever. We're trying to make good cures or processes to if something bad does happen. And like, oh dang, Jeff stuck himself by accident and then went home and didn't realize or whatever, or
or like just a tear in a suit or something.
Yeah, whatever. Like somebody mentioned China wanted the virus to spread. I genuinely don't believe that.
It literally hit them hardest because they had the highest population density, and it hit them first.
Like, I get where, like, okay, well then why would China lie about it? Why would China say, oh, it doesn't spread from human to human? To avoid the embarrassment, to avoid being held responsible. We would do the same thing. If our government has done it.
Yeah, they have.
You can't say that anybody doing something like this that had an accident like this would do the same thing. They would try to
play like devil's advocate.
Like they would try,
even if it wasn't saving face. Let's say it wasn't saving face. Let's just say, why would China not want to take responsibility if they accidentally let the cat out of the bag? Dude, every other country would basically be like suing them through some kind of international sanction system or something, saying that they owe them, trillions of dollars for the infrastructure damage that was caused or whatever, and the loss of life because of their accident. So like nobody in their right mind would ever admit to that, even if they had like, red ink all over their hands. They'd be like, nope, we're good. Like, yeah, you'd have to, like, because no country would ever be able to like repair something on that scale. And you would never live it down either. That's the other thing too. Again, I'm not justifying. I'm just saying this is why they would go through such great lengths to hide it. But it is pretty clear that it hit them first. All the first reported cases in the world were from Wuhan, China.
Sure.
And then they started springing up all over the place, right? They were really close to this viral lab that was specifically working on coronaviruses and the gain of function testing to get them to be more infectious to humans. So that's a little bit weird. And they said the safety record of this lab was fucking horrendous. So that's another big red flag. It's like these things kind of add up and you're like, you know what? There is a greater than zero chance that these viruses did somehow come out of that lab. Now, whether we'll ever be able to figure that out before everything's all washed away and all the evidence is gone, who knows, right? Is China ever going to admit to it, even if they were caught red-handed? No, they're obviously they can't, and they never will. And but to say that it was on purpose, that'd be like us lighting off a nuke in front of our house, hoping that the radiation dust like blows over and kills some other people. Like that's dumb.
I would just find that hard to believe that it was on purpose.
Plus, the funny thing is, like, China doesn't want to attack us. We buy all their shit, dude. The reason they're so rich is because of us.
If it was going to be on purpose, would this really be the way to do it?
Mm-mm.
You know what I mean? Like,
not even close.
There are
way more deadly pathogens.
Yeah, there's that. But also, like, it just would have been done better. It would have just been done better. It would have been more targeted. I feel like it would have been. Look up MK Ultra. I mean, that's like bottom tier conspiracy stuff. Like that's everybody knows about MK Ultra. No, and I don't mean that to be mean. It's just, but yeah, that's a perfect example of the government covering up crazy testing shit that they didn't want people to find out about. It's like,
is MK Ultra the thing that happened in Japan, or am I thinking of something?
No, MK Ultra's CIA like lacing the Christmas punch with LSD to see what would happen. Their research into what do they call it? Far viewing or something like that, where basically like psychics, right? They would train these people or attempted to train these people to they'd like sit in a quiet room and then they would describe like what this Russian agent was seeing or doing, and then draw it out,
astral projection or whatever like and shit. Yeah,
things like that. MK Ultra.
I saw the old videos, cool. Like from the 50s and stuff, right? Where this is like $1 billion funded like project by the CIA, right?
Yeah, and I think it's actually fully declassified or mostly declassified now. They totally owned up to it now. Remote viewing, that's what it was. Thank you, Vegan Pantry. I feel there was a bunch of other stuff under the MK Ultra like project as well. They did all kinds of. They wanted to make psychic soldiers. I think was the overall arcing goal. But yeah, man, it's a trip. The Men Who Stare at Goats, right? That movie, similar sort of thing. That's based on a true story.
You know what else is kind of freaky though is the lab that's in Wuhan that does this specifically that's the thing that makes this like not so much a coincidence is like they're literally testing the virus the exact type of virus and making it more deadly to humans. Like that's their job at that lab.
Right, like is it too much of a coincidence that the outbreak started near a lab? Well, where else would an outbreak start? Like,
and plus they said it came from bats, and the bats come from like the southern region of China, and Wuhan's like the central region of China. So they're like, if a bat outbreak occurred and it was naturally transmitted from bat to animal, like all the other like SARS, it would come from the southern region. It would, or the coronavirus would come from the southern region. It wouldn't just pop up in the middle of China. So there's a lot of red flags. The other thing that's kind of scary is we have one of these labs here in the United States. We only have one, but it's in Texas. We have a virology lab that does the exact same type of work that they do in China. Apparently there's like 12 of these around the world. They call them like level 4 facilities or something, which is like the deadliest like possible facility. You might not even know. You might be in Texas and be like 3 blocks away from this place and not even know it. It's not like they put a big sign on the front of it. But isn't that kind of, I think it's weird, because at the same time, I think it's a good idea, like in practice, to try to get ahead of something, right? Like try to speed up the virology of something so that you can get to it and you can fix it before it's in the general population. I think that perfectly makes sense, right? Predicting the future and preparing for it. Absolutely do that. However, unless you can make sure it is 100%, like, I mean, even just obscenely protected, like get 3 layers of protection, add 2 more on, just like literally like wearing like 5 rubbers. Right. You know, it's like, make damn sure that can never, ever, ever escape, because the viruses that they're creating and stuff, and this gain of function testing that they're doing, it's not very accurate. It's like the science where you're basically just poking the virus and trying to get it through as many generations as possible. You're basically trying to race it to the point where it's transferable to humans. And so you don't know when that point's going to be. Right. Yeah. And so like if you're on your off day and that's the day that you create, you know, batch number 20,260, and that ends up being the one that kills the whole world. And, you know, Steve goes outside to eat a sandwich with this like all over the front of his apron, and dog walks up and starts licking him or something. It's just like, holy shit.
Yeah. That's the thing, is like, I feel like, you know, people are like, oh, was it really leaked? Like, oh, maybe that was intentional. It's if it was intentional, I feel like it would have been worse.
Oh, I want to correct Ed T here in chat. He said, nope, not true. Fort Detrick in Maryland is one of the labs too where anthrax came from. That's not a gain of function lab. Anthrax was a weaponized facility, like a weaponized biological weapon that was created purposefully to kill. I'm talking about a lab that does gain of function testing on the coronavirus. It's a completely different field of science. Like creating anthrax and creating weaponized biological agents purposefully for killing is not the same as creating like a really, really contagious virus that's designed to just kill everybody, and there's no way you can contain it. Yeah. See, coronavirus, that's what makes them so much more dangerous. Like anthrax, you drop it in an area, it kills a bunch of people, those people die, and it stops there. With something like a coronavirus, it goes through generations, and it mutates and it advances. So once you let that out of the jar, it's like you're fucked. Like that's accuracy by volume. Like you're not going to just kill who you intend to.
Andre says, Andre Legris on the chat here, he says, guys, the people who work at level 4 bioresearch facilities all have PhDs. They don't leave the door open or walk out with dirty aprons. Geez, maybe in the US. We're talking about an underfunded backwater Chinese lab, which I'm sure is, I'm being a little derogatory here, but like it's not unreasonable to think that a mistake happened. A mistake occurred that allowed this to leave. This shit happens all the time. Oh, wait. Wasn't there like somebody working in a lab like in Georgia, like walked or came home with smallpox samples? Like I
heard about that.
They like legit like had it in their fucking briefcase by accident or something like that. They like left, they legit went home with like samples of smallpox or something like that.
Yeah.
Like mistakes happen. Like this, you know,
and they probably got like on the subway or a public bus. Like imagine if that had been in a car accident or something, and that guy, broken out of containment.
I feel like I'm almost like visualizing the headline of like, oh, so and so accidentally brought like these testing vials home and or whatever. It's like these things happen. It's not like a perfect system, and I don't know. I feel like it is a reasonable thing to assume a mistake.
Yeah, I don't think I genuinely thought about this. There's no way that this would be purposefully released because it's just so indiscriminate.
Purposefully covered up, 100%.
100%.
Like people have mentioned, oh, they silenced the the doctor to first report it. They made all these lies and stuff about like, oh, it doesn't do this. Oh, it's totally fine. Blah 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 blah. Totally covered it up. Deliberately.
To be fair, China doesn't exactly have like the best history with like workers' rights and human rights, and I mean, covering shit up is kind of like what they do, right? I mean, it's like it's like a generation above, like, you know, you got North Korea, right? China's like the next free evolution above that, right? It's like they're still really heavy-handed with their people. They're still heavy-handed with their military.
Yeah.
Their rights are nowhere near what anybody would refer to as any kind of freedom. They you know, currently what is it the Uyghur population or whatever, they're basically like forcing into forced education and forced labor and stuff like that. Like they're still practicing slavery basically. I mean, it's not good, right? It's not good. Like, and that's why there's a lot of sanctions against China from the US and a lot of other countries too, is because of all these bad practices and shit that they do. But telling the truth isn't really like something that they're really well known for. But also, just to be clear, I mean, the United States isn't exactly going to take responsibility for shit when they fuck up too, right? I mean, wait until 50, 60 years down the road when something gets leaked or declassified, and then they got to take responsibility for it. But on the spot, no way. Like, never going to happen. Because like, also, how would you repair that? Like, there's nothing you could do. Like, you kill, like, what is that? What's the death toll currently for COVID? I mean, it's huge. It's huge. It's like, how could, like, does every country just send you a bill? Like, hey, China, you owe us $10 trillion. Like, that ain't gonna work. Like,
no.
Yeah,
what are you
gonna pay?
There's no settlement for this. Come on. I mean, what? You're gonna sanction them for 100 years? Like, come on.
Hey, Ed T, you must not have heard me. No, Fort Detrick does do military. COVID-19 is not military. COVID-19 is a coronavirus that was pushed through generations to basically rapidly disseminate, infect, and kill humans, which is what coronaviruses do. Its lethality wasn't increased. Like, its lethality comes from being contagious for 2 weeks. So there's no way that this could ever be deployed as a weapon, because you would end up just killing yourself. Any damage you did to the enemy, you would effectively do to yourself, and you wouldn't be able to gauge whether it does more to you or less to you than your intended target. That's the problem with something like this. Like, this would not be used for warfare. This is a straight up just coronavirus. And that's why these labs got to be like so freaking locked down. Because like a mistake is, I mean, God, just think about that. Could you imagine, like, how would you even handle that mentally if you were the dude that did that? Like you go to work one day and it's like you walk out and all of a sudden this thing breaks out and you think, and you're like, oh shit, did I go through the scrubber machine? Like, did I do the right protocol before I left to go to lunch? Like,
yeah.
That'd be so, like, how would you even handle that? The weight of something like that. It's like, okay, you make a mistake and somebody gets hurt. That already is like devastating to most people. But like, what if you made a mistake that literally killed like 100 million people and shut the world down for like a year? And it was like, what? Because, you know, at some level, it wasn't really one person's fault, right? I mean, a lot of protocols had to fail, a lot of shitty like security, and a lot of shitty. Everything had to go wrong for this to happen. And again, we're not saying that it did. We're just saying that it's a plausible, you know, hypothesis that this could come from the lab. Like, that's making sense now, more and more sense. But it's like, you just think of the devastation that could happen from like one little mistake like that. I can't think of like too many other things. Like, even manufacturing a nuclear bomb. Is a nuclear bomb going to kill like 150 million people around the entire world? One bomb? Well, I mean, I guess if it's the Tsar Bomba, like full intensity, maybe so. But I mean, it's like, I can't think of many other things that would just like indiscriminately kill and spread that fast across an entire population of a planet.
Yeah.
That's wild, man. It's just wild. But anyway, so they are expanding the investigation. They still are looking into the Wuhan viral lab theory, because apparently it holds a hell of a lot more water than they thought. Everybody thought that it was, including myself. I thought it was totally a conspiracy theory. Like, dude, the last like 5 COVIDs came from freaking like animals.
Right.
So this one probably came from animals, but it's turning out that there's a lot of signs that may not be the case. Or maybe it even did come from animals, but it was just poor containment of the animal that had that virus at the lab, right? It could be that also. But it's kind of wild to see that it took this long for people to like start acknowledging it. Because you remember, like, at the beginning of this thing, everybody's like, oh, no, it's not, that's a conspiracy. It's not there's no way it could be the Wuhan lab. It's totally like a jump from a bat to a pangolin, and all that shit actually made sense because something like that has happened before. So everybody just like bought it. But you're like, then you look at the evidence, you're like, but wait a second. That means the bats would be in southern China. The outbreak happened in central China, which means somebody would have had to go and find the infected bats, bring them to central China. Somebody would have had to eat them. Well, nobody got infected before that in southern China. Like, that doesn't make a lot of sense. Like, you'd think that wherever the virus originated, somebody would get sick there more than likely before somebody got sick where they were transported or where they were taken to. Not impossible, but just unlikely. And so we started adding all that up. It's pretty wild. It's pretty wild to like follow this stuff. And it's like, then it starts making me like question a lot of other things. Cause I'm like, that made a lot of sense to me. Should that have made a lot of sense to me though? Like, should I have dug a little bit deeper and been a little bit more open-minded on that one? I'm thinking maybe so.
Yeah, I don't know.
All right. Well, let's segue into the ocean on fire.
Sure,
I think that's a great follow-up to humanity on fire. Now let's go to why the ocean was on fire.
I love the name of this drilling platform though. I can't like let this go. It's super funny. It's like they made this up. So some of you guys in the chat have probably seen floating around, like probably late last night, yesterday, and on into today, this video going around of like the ocean like bubbling on fire. Like there's like a big bubbly.
It looks like a meme or something,
right? It looks fake. It totally looks fake. Like I could see this in like a VFX tutorial video or something. It totally looks fake. But I guess like a valve on an underwater pipeline, a Mexican oil platform burst, caught on fire. And so the methane and other burnable gases and stuff come bubbling up out of the pipe. Somehow or another, the gas caught at some point. So it's not like the oil. It's not oil, it's gas. It was a natural gas line, I think. And that's what's burning, right? They said the fire was caused by methane and probably other wet gas components, ethane, propane, etc., igniting at this ocean surface after leaking from the pipeline. And then it was a continuous enough stream that it just kept so it's really just the surface of the water, the gas as it's coming up out of there, is what's really burning. And so it's not going all the way down. It's not like a big giant fire pillar under the water. It's the surface, the gas bubbling up out of the water is what's burning. But
no, it looks like some kind of death ray like firing up from Olympus. Like it just looks wild.
It's so cute. It's so crazy looking. But again,
I have a question. I have a legitimate question though. Looking at this picture, like, what are those boats? What do they think they're going to accomplish by spraying water on this thing? Well, I think there's a bunch of boats like hosing down this fire, and it's like, yeah, if it's this giant freaking like ball of gas coming up,
if you can smother it enough, right? You need three parts to a fire, right? You need oxygen, fuel, and heat, right? Or a spark, right? So if you generally putting out a fire is removing the oxygen side of things. And so if you could douse that bubble enough, you're removing enough of the oxygen, it would put it out. What they really, I love some of the memes being put around. There's this like old lady mom or something putting a lid, like a pot lid on top of this is how you stop an oil fire. Stuff like that.
The funny thing is that'd probably work if they had a big enough lid, right?
Right? I just thought that was funny. So I love this. The name of this platform. So Pemex is the company, the Mexican petroleum company that owns this platform. The platform is called Kumalube Zap.
Kumalube Zap?
Kumalube Zap.
Who the hell named this thing?
I'm not like I love the Kumalube. Kumalube. I love it.
So if they did put out this fire though, wouldn't they just create a secondary problem of a giant gas ball like accumulating and then having like Hiroshima? Like if
it's probably still bubbling, like it might still be bubbling, like releasing the methane or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's an oil field. It's actually three relatively large oil fields in Mexico: Malube, and Zap. But they're all very close to each other in that sense. So it wasn't the name of the platform, or I guess like its designation maybe, like because the platform is overseeing those particular oil fields or something. I'm not sure.
Yeah, but look at the plus side. It said one good thing about the fire is that it consumes some of the leaking hydrocarbons.
Oh, great! Yeah. So fewer greenhouse gases. I guess
I just like how they're trying to find like they're like, hey, PR department, we really need you guys to find a win here.
What's
like,
some good way?
Dude, I guess on the plus side, the whole ocean isn't on fire.
We didn't release Cthulhu from the sleeping Riley. Like, come on.
You don't know that. You're not there,
right? I love this too. It says here, the turbo machinery of Kumaloob Zap's active production facilities were affected by an electrical storm. The turbo machinery? Like, is this? They're just.
Could you imagine working on a platform like you're going to work? You're like, oh, I'm heading off to the Kumaloob Zap factory and be back tomorrow.
What do you do? Oh, I'm a turbo mechanic. I work on the turbo machinery of
Kumaloob.
Sorry. Oh man, the Marsal veins have to be in panometric.
No, it reminds me of that video. You know exactly what I'm talking about, right? Where the guy just does the technical presentation
turbo
of nonsense.
Yeah,
the turbo encabulator.
It's my favorite thing in the whole world. I love this script. Yeah.
Let me see if I can find it.
Oh, I already do.
Oh, you already got it?
Mm-hmm. For a number of years now, work has been proceeding in order to bring perfection to the crudely conceived idea of a transmission that would not only supply inverse reactive current for the use in unilateral phase detractors, but would also be capable of automatically synchronizing cardinal gram meters. Such an instrument is the turbo encabulator. Now, basically, the only new principle involved is that instead of power being generated by the relative motion of conductors and fluxes, it is produced by the modial interaction of magnetoreluctance and capacitive distance. Diractance. My apologies. The original machine had a base plate of prefabulated mamulites surmounted by a malleable logarithmic casing in such a way that the two spurving bearings were in direct line with the panometric fan. The latter consisted simply of 6 hydrocoptic Marsal veins so fitted to the ambifacient lunar wane shaft that side fumbling was effectively prevented. The main winding, the main winding was, of course, the normal Lotus O delta type, placed in panendermic semi-boloid slots of the stator, every 7th conductor being connected by a non-reversible tremie pipe to the differential girdle spring on the up end of the gram meters.
This guy sounds smart.
The turbo encabulator has now reached a high level of development, and it's being successfully used in the operation of Novertrunnions. Moreover, when a fluorescent score motion is required, it may also be employed in conjunction with a drawn reciprocation dingle arm to reduce sinusoidal repleneration.
And the best part is that is all dialogue given from a guy in a lab coat, standing in front of a bunch of random technology behind him and like pointing to it.
The coolest story. So the guy who did the original video in like the 70s, he used to do training videos. He didn't know any of this stuff. Not an engineer, not nothing. He would do the training videos for like mechanics and stuff. And in particular, he was working for. So the video is a reproduction of an article that came out in like Popular Mechanics in the 30s or something. So he took the technical it was a goof by like GE or something back in the 30s. Somebody slipped in this goofy technical manual into a bunch of other stuff, or had like wrote an article to Popular Mechanics, something along those lines. The video that you'll see, though, the original video from that you'll find on YouTube with the old guy in the lab coat, he used to do technical training videos for different companies and stuff. They had, but oftentimes didn't really understand what it was he was saying. He would just go through the script, like whatever. And so as like a goof, he at the end of a reel or whatever, he did all of this in one take. So what he did was he actually recorded himself going all through this thing, and you can't see it, but he's actually got an earpiece, and he was listening to himself walk through the script while he's repeating it, basically. So he did it in one take, one shot, no other practice, no other cuts or nothing.
I could not do that.
Yeah, it's weird. I could, because like you're speech jamming, right? Like, how do you get over yourself talking to yourself in your ear? But it's like one of the first examples of like that sort of a thing, right? You got the producer in your ear kind of a thing. The original video kind of has a explanation of it and stuff, and I think the guy's still alive even, but it's really cool.
Wild.
I love it.
So that video was just a single take?
Like one take. Yep. No. It was like they had a few minutes left on film, and he had just wrapped up something. Like you can see there's a transmission in the diagram behind him.
Yeah.
And they had just finished up one training video, and so they had some film left, and he's like, I'm gonna goof around and do this. I think like toward the end you can actually hear somebody laughing. And it's like the director or something, the guy who
I'm gonna watch that again today after the stream because that was freaking hilarious.
I love it.
Like, because the thing is, like, remembering things that are like logical and make sense and tie into each other is a lot easier, right? Because you have like that mnemonic device thing going on where it's like, oh, okay, I'm talking about a note, so it's something about music, so the next thing I'm going to talk about is this, or talking about volume. It's like one thing leads to the next. That's how you can remember stuff, especially when you read a script back, right? But like to read something that is completely nonsensical bullshit where none of the words make any sense or have any kind of like logical connection, and the fact that he was able to just like memorize that to the point that just having it play back in his ear was enough to like give him the cues to read it back and not get jammed up on it. That's amazing. That guy needs more work. Actually, who's the actor that did that? Was he a really well-known actor or
no, just a dude who did these training videos. That was like his thing. It looks like the guy's name is Dave Rondot. And here I'll link the video.
11 years ago, the turbo encabulator. Let's see what this here.
Yeah.
Wait, can you guys hear that? Hold on.
Barely.
Crudely conceived idea of a transmission that would not only supply inverse reactive current for use in unilateral phase detractors, but would also be capable of automatically synchronizing cardinal gram-meters. Such an instrument is the turbo.
Oh no, it's Bud Haggart is the
now
is the
basically
guy that's
the only new principle involved is that instead of power being generated by the relative motion of conductors and fluxes, it is produced by the modial interaction of magneto-reluctance and capacitive directance.
He even has like the look on his face too, like when he's saying it, he's very scientific and very emotive in his delivery.
The original machine had a base plate of prefamulated amulite surmounted by a malleable logarithmic casing in such a way that the two spurving bearings were in a direct line with a panametric fam. The latter consisted simply of 6 hydrocoptic Marsal vanes so fitted to the ambifaciant lunar wane shaft that side fumbling was effectively prevented. The main winding was of the normal Lotus O delta type placed in panendermic semi.
Oh my god, it's hilarious. I wish I could put it on the screen for you guys. I just don't have a scene set up. It's hilarious because he's got an outline of like a car transmission, and that's what he's talking about is this transmission. But then behind him, he also has like a board that just has random words on it, and then a catalytic converter.
Yeah,
like what? The catalytic converter and the transmission have absolutely nothing to do with each other. So it's like they just like a bunch of processors. They're like sound intelligent.
It says hydrocarbons behind him, carbon something. It says in the way, oxides and something.
I wonder, did he do any other videos that like just that weren't as popular?
Oh, I'm sure. Like he used to do these technical training videos. So I'm sure if you look up Bud Haggart, I'm sure there's bunches of videos.
Was he okay? So here's another one from 2008 called Rockwell Retro Encabulator.
Oh, that's a newer one. Yeah,
is this just the guy doing the same bit, or
basically? Yeah, it's.
I think this is the one I saw. I don't think I ever saw the original, dude.
Oh,
this
really?
is the one that I saw that I thought you were talking about.
I don't know why they're saying
research has been proceeding to develop a line of automation products.
Probably because you're piping my audio, you're piping the system audio back.
Leadership and operating excellence. With customer success as our primary focus, work has been proceeding on the crudely conceived idea of an instrument that would not only provide inverse reactive current for use in unilateral phase detractors, but would also be capable of automatically synchronizing cardinal gram meters.
It's the same dialogue.
Such an instrument comprised of Dodge gears and bearings, Reliant electric motors, Allen Bradley controls, and all monitored by Rockwell software is Rockwell Automation's Retro Encabulator. Now basically, the only new principle involved is that instead of power being generated by the relative motion of conductors and fluxes, it's produced by the modial interaction of magneto-reluctance and capacitive directance.
Yeah, it's the same thing, dude. He's changing up some words, but it's the same thing. It's exactly the same thing. He didn't do as good of a job, though.
It's not me.
Wait, what's going on?
The echo. It's not me. It's you.
Oh shit! Here, let me fix that for you. There you go. His echo's dead now. Sorry. No.
I'm trying to explain it to the chat. Yes. It's like the system audio. You're hearing me from my source. You're hearing the YouTube video and me together.
To play the YouTube video. To actually play the YouTube video, I have to enable the system sound. I'll explain it to those viewers here.
You're hearing what Jerry's hearing in his head. He hears me. Plus, OBS has me as a separate audio source.
Correct. So what I really should have done is muted. I should have muted you. Oh, actually, that would have required me to mute me too, because my audio source is also coming in through OBS.
Right.
So the question is, do I come in through system audio too? Then, if I mute this,
you shouldn't. You should have a separate mic line on your OBS audio mixer. You should. Shame on you.
It's only coming in through OBS Ninja. Damn it.
You wouldn't get echo from Barnacules because he's on the same system audio line.
Son of a beaver's nuts. All right, if there wasn't technical problems, it just wouldn't be Tech Talk.
That's okay.
Part of Tech Talk is the technical problem.
I feel like I should kind of half apologize or semi apologize. There are some times where I get super salty over chat like pointing out problems, and I don't mean it in like a personal way. There are just sometimes I take it very like it bugs me a lot, and like it really shouldn't, in the same way that like little kids doing shit like will just irritate me a lot sometimes. And it's like, it's no fault of you guys, like it's not you guys, like the chat or anything. I know sometimes I just respond poorly to those sorts of like inputs, and I just want to say that like it's not personal. I'm not grumpy at anybody individually for pointing out any issues. Like, it's important that we know that these things are happening. I apologize.
The internet has made me incredibly grumpy the last week, and I will continue to be grumpy for at least another week. I'm going through my yearly cycle, guys. It's my yearly cycle. No,
I just wanted to put that out there.
Okay, I know everybody knows you don't hate him now.
Yeah.
So, but me on the other hand, I've been heavy with the band hammer lately on all my social media networks because I'm just getting sick of this bullshit. I'm just getting so tired of the people that are like, oh my god, all you gotta do is lose weight. What do you think I'm doing, you dipshits? Like, I'm going to physical therapy. I have a pain doctor. I have a surgeon now that I'm consulting. I've spent thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. I'm literally doing everything that I can to fix the core problem so then I can actually do things again. And everybody's like, nah, just stop eating, bro. Just stop eating. I literally had it just the other night. 3 people yesterday, man. I just went fucking aggro. They're like, just stop eating, and once you lose the weight, all your problems will magically disappear. They're all because of your weight. It's like, you dipshits, the reason that I'm this heavy is because I can't move. I've been laid up in bed because my back's all fuckered up. And anyways, they couldn't get it through their head. So I just started saying, you know what? I'm going to stop explaining this shit because I've tried to explain this about 9 million times now. And each time it's just a one-to-one explanation. They can think whatever they want. They can think whatever they want. I just got to get used to the idea. I got to focus on me and fixing my shit and doing what's good for me. And just let them live in their little imagination land. Hey, Delvin42, thank you for the €10.99. So I hope this helps a little bit. It absolutely does. Thank you for helping us fund this show today. You and Scarlett DeLion are throwing down. You guys own the show today, by the way. Nomadic Wanderer said, let's hear, what is the regular schedule on Twitch? I always seem to miss you streaming. Last week was really, really unstable. I'm usually really stable with my streaming. Like, that's the one thing I'm super stable with, but I blew out my knee in physical therapy and like literally couldn't get out of bed for like 3 days. But normally I stream Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from noon to about 4 or 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. That's usually that's my go-to when things are going well. But it's just, like I said, it's been unstable lately, but that's the pattern I'm going to fall back into. So and you can find that should all be linked down in the video description, along with where AuxxZillary is also streaming and where David Hewlett streams too for Deck Banditry.
Man, I was just thinking about this the other day. I don't think I've streamed on my personal Twitch in like 2 months.
What are you doing?
Dude, it's been I don't know, man. It's hard to, like, as I'm sure you know, sometimes it's just like hard to get over that hump. Like, I know I have a full PC sitting right there. right?
Yep.
Like full, ready to go. I got everything I need. And it's just like, man, I look at my desk and I'm like, man, this isn't like, I don't want to build here. Like it's awkward and it doesn't work very well. And then I'm like, well, okay, then I should build the bench that I've been meaning to build out in the fucking garage. And I'm like, okay, well, that means I need 2x4s and stuff. And like, whatever, I can afford to buy 6 2x4s. It's not a big deal. Or whatever, and a couple 4x4s, like, or whatever I need, like, it's fine.
Yeah.
And it's just like, it's just, I don't know, man. Especially the last couple weeks for myself too, have been just hard. Like, I'm just not in it.
For me, it usually ends with like the pain. Like I wake up and I'm like, I get myself going and then I'm super excited about doing something. And then I go do it for like 5 minutes and I'm like on the ground. Both my back muscles are all torqued up. I got to go take a muscle relaxer and then I'm moving again. Then the muscle relaxer kicks in. Then you're too damn tired that you can't think straight.
Yeah.
It just snowballs. Yeah. It snowballs every single time. And just so you guys know, because a lot of people seem to think that, oh man, you're just being lazy, like blah, blah, blah. I have 3 OLED 48-inch 120 hertz G-Sync the works screens that I bought with money I don't have. I literally put it on credit. Money I don't have so that I'd rebuild this nerd cave because these screens have been dying forever. Like you guys haven't noticed that because I haven't been making videos, but these screens are knocking on death's door. So I go buy these screens. Those screens have been downstairs now for 5 days and haven't made it upstairs yet because I was supposed to redo everything. Come up here, rip everything out, pull all the wiring out and start working on this thing. Then I busted up my knee in physical therapy and it just took me out for 3 days like that. And even now I'm still struggling to get up and down the stairs. So it's like, how the hell am I supposed to carry these screens, these old screens down and the new screens up? And it just becomes like so demotivating because you're like, and then it sucks because you have the thing. It's like, it almost would be better if I didn't buy the screens because then I wouldn't be like, those things are just down there. Like I want to get them up here. I want to get them going. Like this has been a huge dream for me for a long time to switch to 120 hertz because I've never owned a screen over 60 hertz. Right. Hey, Miss Liz, thank you for the $10. Thank you so much. We appreciate that a ton. But it's like seeing that stuff like just not get used bothers me more than anybody will ever understand. Like they're like, oh, it's so stupid that you're not using those 3D printers. I want to more than you know.
Right.
Like I want to so bad, like these things. But it's like I get up and I get moving and then my back's all fucked up and I can't do anything. And I'm like, people just don't understand because all they see is, oh, you're just fat. And if you weren't fat, this wouldn't happen. Well, even if I wanted to lose all the fat right now and it wasn't underlying health problems, it's still going to take me what, 2 years? To lose 150 or 180 pounds, like it's not going to just happen tomorrow. So I gotta work with what I got, day by day. Right. Hey Rico, man, thank you for the 2 pounds. I think it's pounds, right? The little folded over looking F, backward F. Yeah. Yep. Thank you for the 2 pounds. Said Ox, what do you think about the SSUD Meshlicious?
So it's a ITX tower. It looks kind of neat, I guess. I haven't had hands on myself.
Weird name. I want to look this up.
It looks kind of neat. I like it. I like
the sudden much delicious.
I'm halfway when it comes to these sort of vertical orientations or these 90-degree rotations on motherboards and stuff. This one's weird.
Like that.
I want to see. I don't see any pictures of it with anything in it, so it's hard for me to visualize like how your components are going to sit, but it looks like it's a tower, but
it's like all see-through. Every panel on it is corrugated mesh.
It's weird. It looks like it's rotated like, I don't know.
I see what you're saying.
Okay, so the power supply is on the bottom. Power supply is on the bottom. There's all this empty space below where the graphics card is supposed to go. Like,
it's got a riser board. Okay.
Yeah.
No, I didn't notice that.
Very strange. I mean, it looks neat. I'm always interested to try and build in stuff.
What are they trying to achieve with that layout? That is a little weird, huh?
Yeah, I want to see pictures of it with parts in it. Because like, so yeah, here's some parts. There's some parts in here, and as you go forward or further down, and it looks like all the space under where the graphics card goes is like for hard drives, which is really silly to me because that's like a huge waste of space. Who is using giant platter drives like that anymore? You don't need all that space down there. Okay.
It looks like it's
radiators,
for an AIO,
big radiators. Sure.
Yeah, it looks like it's designed so you can just have a big fat radiator in the front, and then have like a 3080 or a 3090 to full length, top to bottom.
You can do graphics cards vertically. That seems a little strange.
Yeah, But they don't show in the picture how they're getting the ports out. Do you have to plug the graphics card in through the bottom or something, or fish it in through the side?
It'd have to go out the top.
Okay, this is weird.
I'll have to watch.
I like the way it looks though. It's a neat looking case. Like, and you can get it with tempered glass on the side too. So the whole thing's mesh, but tempered glass. That's the one I'd go.
That's where I'd go to. Yeah, the front and back or the front being mesh and then glass panels on the side would be sick. I'll have to watch Optimum Tech's video on it. I see a clip here playing on the background of their website. I trust him quite a lot. He's kind of my, like, that's the guy I aspire to be like. When it comes
that's
to
gonna be a lightweight case though, like small, lightweight.
Yeah, it looks neat.
I don't know, weird layout though. You're right. It's a really wonky, weird layout. Like I'd like to know why, like what they claim the advantages of doing things that way. Because I've seen conventional layouts that are more compact than this.
Right. So, yeah, that's why I was like,
they weren't going for like maximum compactness.
Oh, Miss Liz, that's cute.
Oh, what'd you do?
He posted a case. She's like, I like this case, and it's like very, very ooh.
Don't your ballerina poses next appointment? No. Oh, actually, no. It's my fault that I broke myself in physical therapy. If you guys are wondering, it's not the physical therapist's fault.
Too hard, man. You went.
They walked in there and they told me what they do in your first physical therapy appointment is they have to gauge your range of motion.
So hit him in the knee with a baseball bat. Bam!
Yeah, they did. They kneecapped me, and then they took a dead blow hammer to my balls. No. So the lady, she squares up with me and she said, "Oh yeah, well, you know, I used to do ballet, so I have hypermobile joints or whatever." And I was like, "No kidding, I used to do ballet too." And she kind of laughed a little bit because I'm like, you know, 270-pound dude or whatever, or actually, yeah, 370 pounds. Well, I'm up there. But anyways, she's like, you did ballet? I was like, yeah, I actually did ballet when I was a kid because my grandma taught it and it was free, and we were poor, so anything that the family members did that you could get free, you did it. And so she did a position, and she's like, "Oh, I always struggled with this one." And I was like, "Oh, I can do that." And it's where you put your feet straight out, right, opposing from your ankle. And so I did that. I put my legs straight out, and she was like, "Holy crap!" And then I went to stand up and extend my knee, and it just goes pop, makes a loud audible pop. And I just collapsed on the ground. She's like, "Oh no!" And then I get up on the thing. She like feels around my knee, and it's starting to get hot. And she's like, "We're gonna go ahead and put that down on the chart." So now it's like my back. It's my back, my right arm, and now my knee is on the physical. And I went in, and my knees were fine when I went in. So I'm just adding shit to the list, apparently. Hey, Eric, thank you for the $10. Said enjoy the show while stuck in traffic. Well, I'm sorry that you're stuck in traffic, but I'm glad you're here with us. Instead of like cussing at people and like, you know, pulling out your tire iron and threatening people with it. Which I've done, by the way. Luckily, didn't get caught. That would have been awkward. No, I had a motorcycle cut me off once and almost. So I'm driving back on 5. Hopefully the statute of limitations run out on this. I'm driving. Yeah, this is back when I had my truck. I had a Ford Ranger way back in the day. So this probably be like 18 years ago. And I'm driving back on 520, like heading towards Avondale. If you guys know the area where Microsoft is here in Redmond, and the lanes start to merge together. And this motorcycle comes flying down on the side of the road because, you know, it's starting to slow down and traffic flying down, has his girlfriend like on the back seat of this motorcycle, flies down the sidewalk ahead of me, and then just cuts across in front of me. And I have to lock up all 4 wheels and almost get rear-ended by a guy behind me because it was either lock up my brakes or I would have plowed right over him. Him and his girlfriend would have gone right under my truck, would have killed the both of them. So I slam on the brakes. And so I honk my horn after I get, you know, I'm like sideways across 2 lanes, straighten up. And they're still hooning and trying to drive by people and up the center of cars and stuff, which you can't do here in Washington. That's a California thing, right? So
my brother corrected me on that. I thought years ago Washington passed lane splitting. Like you were allowed to do that at like at least at stoplights.
Yep.
Like you could scoot yourself to the front of the line. I guess that it either was just like some sort of fever dream, never happened, or like they repealed it. I don't know what happened, but I remember very clearly Washington passing a lane splitting like was okay at stoplights kind of thing here, and I guess I'm just making that up.
Yeah. So these guys that cut me off on this bike, so I honk my horn, and as soon as I honk my horn, both of them flip me off, and I'm already like freaking out. My heart rate's already racing because I already had to slam on my brakes. Guy luckily behind me slammed on the brakes and went off to the shoulder, so he didn't rear end me. And so they're sitting there flipping me off, and then they get stuck. They can't go any further, so they couldn't pass the vehicles that were in front of me. So I pull up on them. And so I roll down my window and I'm just screaming at him. I'm like, you know, what the fuck are you doing? And the guy on the bike or whatever, and he's like, shut your fucking face, fatty, or whatever. And I was like, okay, I'm already pissed off. Dude already cut me off. I almost killed him and his girlfriend. I was like, all right, better finish the job. So I reached behind my seat. I have a tire iron under my seat in the Ranger, and I pull out a tire iron and I open up the door and I get out and I just start walking towards him. Yeah. The dude sees me coming at him with the tire iron. I wasn't running or nothing. I just had the tire iron in my hand. I was walking up to him, and he freaks out, like does a burnout. Almost hits the car in front of him, gets just by him, goes down the side of the road, almost hits the barrier and flies through a red light and almost gets pounded like sideways flying through the intersection. And I mean, he came close to getting hit like 5 or 6 times. Then I was like, oh shit, that probably wasn't a good idea. And there was like people looking at me behind me because I was in traffic. The light was stopped and it was backed up like 100 cars. So I'm like looking at the people in front of me. They're looking at me. Some guys are getting out of their vehicle. They're looking at me. Nobody said anything though. Nobody said anything. So I just calmly went and got back in my truck, put my tire iron away, and then just drove home. And then I was like, oh shit, like there was a million witnesses to that. I was like, that was not the smartest thing to do. But they all saw what the people on the bike do, what they were doing and what they were screaming and what they're doing. So they didn't give a shit. Like not a single person said anything. But I was like, after that, it was one of those situations where I was like, you know what? I probably should just simmer down a little bit. So this is back when I was younger. Like I was young and, you know, had all kinds of piss and vinegar in me back then. Not so much anymore, but man, don't do road rage. Road rage is not good, no matter what the reason. Hey, Penta 3D, thank you for the 20 sexes. We always appreciate a little sex on the show. He said, hi, did you see the last part of my razor tattoo? I don't believe I did. I believe you need to tweet me so I can take a look at that.
Yeah.
And did Razer send you anything cool? Because I think Razer should send you, at very least, send you like a cool ass laptop for doing that.
Yeah, right. Or like, I don't know, man. I would have hit him up and been like, yo, Razer, you know, cut me $100 check a month or something, and I'll something.
Yeah,
something. Laptop, a fucking plushie, something.
He's got to get something from Razer. If you don't get some from Razer, let me know. I got some contacts there. I'll cast the net for you. We'll at least poke them and make them aware. Because come on, dude, there's like no cheaper advertisement than getting somebody to like tattoo your freaking business logo on their body.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, fun fact, the video is not out. It was supposed to be released like years ago, and it's still on my computer. I got to edit it and release it. But I have a video of somebody who actually has my tattoo, real tattoo. We're not talking about like there's a real tattoo of Barnacules Nerdgasm.
Your logo.
A gentleman named Caleb who works at CNC.
I've seen it.
Huh? You seen it?
Yeah.
And it's a real tattoo. Like people thought it was fake. Like when I showed the pictures on Twitter, like, oh no, that's an iron on or whatever. No, I have the video of a dude like literally tattooing for like an hour. Yep. Up close and everything, like blood coming out.
Were you there for the finish of it?
I was. I recorded the whole thing. I said that literally we found this tattoo shop that night, and he wanted to do it, and he got 2 tattoos, one of my logo and one of Atomic Filament. Nice. And so yeah, we went in there and we watched the whole thing, and the dude at the tattoo parlor was like, "Yeah, we don't get a lot of YouTubers in here, man." Like because I mean it's literally out in the middle of like Podunk, Indiana, right? Yeah. So we're like he's like, yeah, we don't get a lot of YouTubers in here or whatever. So they were like super jazzed that we were like there with cameras recording the whole thing, and they were like letting us like just come back there and walk around while they're dude was like, you could tell the dude's done a million tattoos. Like he was like not even sweating it, right? Like cameras up in his face and stuff. He was just having a good old time. And they kept the shop open like past their normal closing time for a couple of hours and let us all just like shoot and produce this video in there. It was really freaking cool. So and he wanted the tattoo, and trust me, I made sure. I was like, you're not under the influence of anything. This is something you really want. He already had tattoos of other things that he enjoyed. He really was adamant about it. And so I paid for it. I paid for the tattoo. And it wasn't even I thought tattoos were like super duper expensive. It actually wasn't that bad. The tattoo my logo, I think it was like $170 or something like that. It was just shy of $200.
That sounds about right.
Yeah,
I mean,
mine was
90. This was 90.
Really? See, for some reason, I always thought tattoos were like just stupid expensive. I guess they probably can get stupid expensive.
It depends on like color. Like mine went up because of the color. And then also like
red. Mine, I think, had red, white, and yellow and black. So there's like 4 colors in my logo.
Because like it costs the artist when they open up the color tub. That's $10 or whatever, or however much that tub costs. They can't reuse that. That's yours now. And so like.
That's pretty expensive too,
you know. And then the needles and stuff too. They all have to go or one-time use kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So like at least the equipment cost plus time. So and then
it was crazy watching somebody get a tattoo though. Like I got to see the tattoo gun up close, and it's like I didn't realize it's like bundles of needles. Like it's not. I always thought it was like just like one little needle that was just kind of like no. It's like
it's a little cluster
grip shit of needles that are just
sometimes
like
it'll be
tenderizer.
Like 3 up to like 12 or more, depending on like they'll get 3 like real big ones sometimes for like the line, the thicker lines.
Yeah,
and then for like the coloring in, it's like a bundle of 12 or so tiny little ones.
Yeah, you had one that was like it was like a circle pattern, and then you had another one where it was flat, where all the needles were like flattened out, so you could do like a line.
Yeah,
with
sometimes,
it, and
sometimes like
like,
that,
dude,
or sometimes
it's
neat.
This is
it's
wild,
really
man.
neat.
Like being a tattoo artist is not an easy thing. Like that is a hard thing to learn how to do right.
Yeah,
and if you mess that up, that's not like messing up a haircut, dude. Like you messed that up, I'm sure you got some dude like trying to swing on you.
Oh yeah, like I never understood how anybody could go on that show. It's like Tattoo Wars or something like that, where it's like a bunch of tattoo. Yeah, it's like tattoo artists. I don't think it's on anymore, but you can probably find it on Hulu or something. But yeah, it's like it's these quote professional tattoo artists. Like it's like a cooking show, right? But it's like tattoos, and he'll bring people. Ink Master, that's the one.
I saw Ink Masters.
Dude,
I saw that. That was the one that had Kat Von D, right?
Yeah, you could not pay me enough to just randomly let especially as a competition under time. Like you're trying to tell me you're going to bust out this nice ass portrait in an hour. No way am I letting you do that to me. No way.
Yeah, and they have to rush like because they got to finish, right? Oh, dude.
Nah,
hard pass. Jeff asked if I have any tattoos. No, zero tattoos. I'm the truth is I used to be really afraid of needles, like deathly afraid of needles. But now because of my medical issues over the last 5 years, I've been poked and prodded and injected and had so many things sucked out of me. Now it's like I can just watch them just stick them into me now, and it doesn't even bother me.
It's really not as bad. So I was 19 when I got mine, and not even it ranks up there as one of the more painful things that it's ever done to me. But it was actually kind of neat. Because like it like for me the pain like built up, and just before it would get to a point where I'd go like or like I just couldn't handle it, it would fade away, and then it would come back, and then fade away. It was and then holy cow, exhausting experience. Like it only took maybe an hour for mine or so, maybe an hour and a half. Actually, it couldn't have been that long, and I was exhausted. Like it just puts you through the ringer, man. You go take a nap when you're done getting tattooed.
Yeah, I noticed that when he was getting my tattoo on him, like you could tell that like in the beginning it was like, oh yeah, the pain's not that bad, but like towards the end he was exhausted. Like you can tell that pain just builds and builds and builds.
Because like it's like your body is flooding you with the endorphins every minute or so. Like you like that's why it builds up, and then your body goes, hey, here, have some of this.
I'm going to link the guy that got my tattoo so everybody can go verify this. Here, let me see where is
it. Crazy stuff.
Here you go. So this is
Caleb Ferris. I want Moss.
CME CNC. I just went ahead and put him over there for you, so you guys can go scroll through his feed, and I'm sure you'll find he used to post a lot of pictures of it. So I do have the video. I found it. It's still on my computer. Like it never made it into a video because just crap shit happened.
Yeah.
That's the story of my life over the last couple of years. But no, it was really cool to watch that. Like but I was like really nervous the entire time because I'm like, dude, this guy's getting like my logo tattooed on. I'm like, I'm never gonna I can't ever change my logo. My logo will forever be that logo because I don't want a dude walking around with like an old version of my logo on him. Like that's it. That's the logo for life right there. Puget Systems, boom, Barnacules Nerdgasm. That's it.
That's
done. Hey Pete, the Norwegian. Thank you, the 55 Knox. We like some Knox.
Oh yeah, thanks, man. That's a good one.
He said 120 hertz or bust, you'll never go back. Yeah, no, I've been on 60 hertz screens. The only time I've ever used a screen that wasn't 60 hertz was on a mobile device, like a small device, virtual reality, like my VR headset does 90 to 144, depending on which one I'm using. And borrowing like Adam's screen, like his 27-inch Predator or whatever at PDX Land. That was pretty epic. Yeah. And the problem is every time I used them, I was like, oh my gosh, I cannot believe how smooth this is. And then I go back to my 60 hertz screens and it take me like a week to acclimate. Mm-hmm. 60 hertz, you just get used to it. And it's like, oh, this is pretty smooth. But then once you have 120 hertz and you try to go back to 60, you're just like, oh my God, your brain isn't having it. So it works fine for movies and stuff like that. But it's like once you've seen it, like for games and even just doing desktop stuff and dragging windows around and stuff, it's game changer. Super, super game changer. Penta 3D, thank you to 50 Sexes. Another 50 sexes. He said, a laptop I like to have. You're following me on Twitter, and I think I have sent it to you. Go and look. Razer just sent a t-shirt. Oh my God, really? Razer only sent you a t-shirt for getting that tattoo? Oh my God. Boo, Razer. Come on, Razer.
Yeah,
seriously.
Lame. That's
for poor people, dude. We're gonna have to poke Razer a little bit. You know what we'll do? I got a plan, Penta 3D. Hit me up right around Christmas time, like when we're rolling into like December. That's the time to go ahead and tag God, what's his name? The CEO of Razer. God, I always forget his name. We'll tag him. We'll tag team him in December and catch him. Just be like, hey, what's going on? You know, this guy's been repping you around the internet. How about you give him a freaking laptop and he'll freaking make a video of his tattoo? I think that's fair trade. Hey, Lewis, thank you for the $2 super chat. He said, and when are you going to do some more 3D printing videos? Your guess is as good as mine, but I hope not too long in the distant future. I have a new printer I really have been dying to try out. I've got a rail core finally, and they're a handful though. That was the printer that you were supposed to get, Aux, and you got the Ultimaker. And be thankful that you got the Ultimaker because the rail core is ridiculously difficult to use. Have you printed on it yet?
Nah.
Yeah, I figured.
I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do.
That is the easiest printer in the world to use. Like you can't.
I know
it doesn't
that.
get any easier than that.
I know how to use it. I don't know what to do with it.
I just print a butt plug on it, just to like
something.
Just to get you going, get the juices flowing, so to speak.
I'll figure. That's part of why I need to build the bench out in the garage too. It's like I can't have that thing printing just behind me.
Yeah, the way that you get, actually, it's a really quiet machine too. That Ultimaker is especially quiet.
Yeah.
I'll tell you this though, the way that you get hooked on 3D printing, and I'm sure it'll go the same way with me getting back into it again, is just go find something cool on Thingiverse, like some character that you like or some cool little thing, and print it. And it's like once you do that, your brain just instantly like makes that connection. Like you know it mentally that it'll print stuff, but as soon as you print it, you're actually like holding something in your hands and fiddling with it in bed, some little thing that you made. You know, on your 3D printer, then you're stuck, and you'll just keep downloading and printing everything in sight, and then after a while you start designing your own stuff.
How cheap can I get a 3D printer and the material? I think
super cheap.
I think around $250 these days for just the printer. The material, that's going to vary depending on how much and what kind.
Yeah, it depends on what type of printing you want to do too. So like SLA, where it uses liquid resin. The material is more expensive, but the printer is cheaper. So you can get a good SLA printer for like $200.
Oh man, you can get a resin printer where basically it's like a tub of goo and it beams like a UV laser or some shit on it, and then it pulls this it's like a screen. It's like it puts like a LCD. There's like a screen one. There's like a 4K LCD screen or whatever, and it basically like pulls the thing out of the goo, which is super freaking cool. Those are like $200 to $300.
Yeah, they used to be like I have one back there called a Form 2. It's $4,500, and now they make one for $200 that'll hand that thing's ass to it.
But with the liquid resin ones though, you definitely want to do that like in an open space and stuff. The resin
aren't that great.
Is bad news. Yeah. But
then
then you can get like filament
that cures by light is not going to be.
It's not going to be out anymore. It's in the closet. But and then you have like the filament style printers, which I guess they still like recommend you do that in an open space or whatever. But like whatever.
It just depends on the material you use. If you're using PLA, it's basically just corn. It's corn. Like if you cook corn in your kitchen before, you'll be fine with PLA. ABS you don't want to print though, because ABS is a petroleum product. You heat it up at off gases and they'll give you a bad headache. There you go. So, but no, a good FDM printer between $250 and $700 depending on what your requirements are. SLA printer, $200 gets you a really good one, but the material can be a little on the expensive side. Like, it can be $30 to $40 a liter. So you end up getting more material from FDM, but you also get way higher quality from SLA. So it depends on what you want. You want material strength? Then you usually want to go with like FDM. Like if you're making parts that need to be stressed and they need to be strong. But if you're trying to make parts like miniatures and stuff like that, and you want that incredible detail, SLA detail's unmatched. Like I guarantee there's not an FDM printer on this planet. I don't care what anybody says that can match like the shittiest SLA.
Hold on, like I gotta interrupt. Oh damn it, where'd it go?
Wait, what happened?
Hold on. Oh, I have to. this guy in the chat, because I love this kind of thing. He says he's already been blocked, so it's fine. But he says I've always wondered why people think having a beard that makes your face look like a bear's ass is a good look, but you do you. I've always wondered why people come into chats and make shitty like opinion pieces like that.
Yeah.
With like why are you? I'm genuinely curious why you want to spread like that kind of negativity and like shit talking to somebody that you don't know.
Yeah, why I gotta be such an asshole?
I'm curious what like how did you see that going? Like, what was the plan?
I'm curious myself.
What response did you think was going to happen? I'm just.
Did you think he was going to shave his beard off?
Willard 471. I'm just genuinely curious, like what you thought was going to occur. You know,
tell us. We'd like.
I'm not pissed. I'm just curious. It's not a question though, and it was negative. I'm curious, like it was negative, and it wasn't a question either. It was a statement because there's no question there. I'm just curious, like what did you gain from that, other than now the attention, I suppose. This is interesting.
He must have just wanted the attention. That's the only thing.
You literally insulted me calling my face a fucking bear's ass. That's negative. It'd be different if you had just said, "I've always wondered why people think having a beard makes your face look good."
He's like, "How is it negative?" He said he has like a bear's ass. I don't know. Do you think bears' asses are like fucking awesome? And if so, why would you ask him if he had to? If you thought bears' asses were awesome, you would understand why he has one.
I wonder why is the question. It's literally what I said. I always wonder why. No,
because chicks fucking dig it.
Whatever. I'm not going to get into the semantics of things. I was just curious what you thought was going to be like the ad. You know, like, I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. The weight of I don't know, man. I don't even want to like get into shit talking. I was just curious.
No, this is what
motivated you to make a statement like that, and then like you know. It is just curious to me.
No. And now you know what? That's exactly how I felt for like the last couple of weeks, just dealing with constant onslaught of people. They just they have they don't like something or they don't have a preference or something. And instead of just like asking like a legitimate question or being polite about it, just come out fucking swinging.
In your profile picture, is this you?
Wait,
or
me?
Is this somebody else? No. I'm the Mexican Marauder guy. I'm just curious if this is like.
Any sign of a beard?
No, which I mean, he's got like a cadet cap on or whatever. So I imagine the government tells him to shave, but I don't know. All right, I mean that's all. What motivates people to grow that much on their face? Didn't say it was bad or you're terrible. So you did. You equated it to looking like a bear's ass.
How is that? That's what I don't get. Is how does he not realize that's the negative?
So an actual answer.
Like, so Barnacules, why do you look like a child molester with your mustache there? Oh, I wasn't negative. I just was curious.
My original motivation was No Shave November. Buddy of mine challenged me to grow it to the end of the year rather than just through November. And then I did actually shave it down to just the mustache and like chin poof, like the Three Musketeers. Not the best look, I'll admit. I enjoyed it while it lasted, and then the next year I did the same thing, grew it out. And it's been that way for the last like 7 years.
You couldn't pull off the Spaniard, huh?
It reminded me a lot of it looked more Wild West than Three Musketeers, and actually, yeah, I kept it mostly like on your kill list says not shaving. I in fact enjoyed to shave. Before I grew this out, I was a huge advocate for the double-edged safety razor, old school, like your grandpa used to shave, right? And still to this day, hands down, the best way to shave, 100%. Like, buy yourself some nice blades. There, you can get like 100 of them for like $15. Get a nice weighted safety razor. Nowadays, they make quite a few versions and stuff. Dude, they're great. In cold water, shave one pass down with the grain, the second pass against the grain, and man, hands down.
I don't even recognize you when you're shaving though. Like I've seen you shaving a couple of times, and Oh my God, you look completely different.
But now, of course, right? Oh man, I save myself like 30 minutes every morning. Don't have to shave. Not true. Now I have a big tangled mess on my fucking face, and now I gotta keep it conditioned and brushed out and stuff, so that
I haven't shaved in almost a month. This is almost a month right here.
I get hairs everywhere, man. No, heated beard comb. No, because when my beard is straightened like that, it is horrible. It looks really weird. I don't like that. So yeah. Straight razor. Yeah, I never did that to myself. I'm cool with the barber doing it. I've never done a straight razor to myself. Mostly because like I don't trust that I could get the angle right.
Man, I'm gonna have to wield out the band hammies today.
Oh, so I'm trying to keep up.
No, just Bitnik being a sarcastic fuckwad. He can get out of here. I'm done. He's been around for a long time, but he's like, you banned somebody on your Twitch stream for just asking a nice question. And I was like, elaborate. I only ban people that are being rude. Oh, I'm not giving any names because you'll probably ban me. I was like, fine, I'll fucking ban you.
So like,
I will ban you, because if you're gonna be that way, you're being a dick. You're intentionally being a prick, is what you're doing.
Sometimes, for just asking a question can be asked in bad faith. Or
could be being rude. If the goal is to be rude,
could be interpreted as being made in bad faith. As a good example, I interpreted Mr. Mexican Marauder's statement or question, as they put it, as being presented in bad faith. As we were kind of roasting him a little bit, he did kind of clarify that he didn't mean anything by it, and I will take that at face value. And so
he got called out, dude.
Whatever.
Why he went that way.
Look, if he wants to, that's fine. Whatever. I'm not going to judge a guy for wanting to backtrack or whatever. But once it was clear that maybe he did genuinely want a legitimate question, because he did kind of want to clarify, like, hey, maybe it wasn't the best way to go about it. Whatever. That's fine. I'm willing to give benefit of the doubt. So questions can be asked in bad faith, right? Like, oh, whatever. Hey, does your mom know you're gay? Kind of a question, right? Like, no matter how you answer that, it's going to sound bad, kind of a thing, right?
Well, in the case of the Bitnik guy, he literally is like, oh, I saw you ban somebody for just asking a question. And I was like, okay, well, just give me an example, because I only ban people that are rude. He's like, well, I'm not going to give you an example because you'll probably ban me too. That's being a sarcastic fuckkead, and I'm going to ban him for that. Like, if you're acting that way, it's bad faith. So I have zero tolerance anymore, dude. Absolutely zero.
It's like the statements like, oh, I'm not racist, but, right?
Yeah,
or
exactly.
like on your kill list goes on to say, like, the classic starting a question with not to be a dick, but
exactly.
Whatever.
Yeah, I don't mean to be offensive, but
I'm gonna be. No. Okay, so what's about you? So we talked about the Kumalube thing burning out the ocean
station.
I want to know more about your Earth 2 game thing, because I'm genuinely curious. I know David plays like a crypto based game, and that kind of thing is very interesting to me. I think there's like a path to go down with these crypto games in this sense. But this one, you were telling me, is very much like BitClout. So let's dive into that.
Well, here, give me just a second. I gotta check something here real quick. It looks like we've angered somebody by banning them.
Oh,
they're attempting a denial of service attack and failing miserably.
Really?
Oh my gosh, this is hilarious. Yeah, somebody got so upset.
Right,
they're like, I'm gonna show them with my packet storm. Oh, I'm gonna get them with my little internet connection.
It probably doesn't even have gig internet. Like, what are you gonna do?
Oh my god, that's funny.
It's like throwing sand at a castle.
That's funny. It is. I can also, like, I guess he doesn't realize I can just push one button and just start them all over again if I want to. So I may actually do that. So isn't that weird? Just like fucking children, man. Internet children's. And actually, you know what though? I gotta take a piss. I gotta take a piss real quick. So I'll tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna actually here no. We'll let him tire himself out here real quick. Oh, I'll be right back. I'm gonna use the bathroom. When I get back, we'll deal with the little 12-year-old throwing a tantrum here.
No,
we haven't probably Bitnik, because he's obviously being a punk right now.
No, we haven't talked about Win 11 yet. We may not get to it actually, because I don't know if Jerry mentioned it at the beginning. I think we're only going for a couple hours. I think we're only going to go till noon today, so we got about 30 minutes. To be honest, I'm not a fan of beers. Beers is fine, not a bad. Thank you. And look, I totally get it. I know some people. When I've done like IRL streams, when I used to do my drive-in streams and stuff, people would come in and give me all kinds of shit for it, and so like, whatever, fine. It doesn't bother me that much. Some days it does. Some days it does. Some days I get super salty over negative comments or whatever, and some days I'm just like, yeah, whatever. Some days I'll just ban people. Some days I'll play with them. Whatever. I don't know. It just depends. I'm not perfect, right? I do my best to be as honest about things as I can, within the scope of my allowable. Like, there's things I can't talk about. So.
How are we doing? We look. Did they give up?
I don't know.
I think they might have given up. Let's see. I was going to see if I had to roll my IP address because that's what VPNs are good for. By the way, NordVPN link in the video description.
See tons of streamers with million bars and charts and graphs sitting there telling people to either donate or get thoughts on stream beggars. Kind of a bad look. Yeah, don't do that. Yeah, look, it's a balance.
It's counterproductive anyways. It doesn't really work.
It's a balance. Like I've seen, you'll put up a goal or something, like a sub goal up in the corner or something.
Sure.
And I can see where that could be interpreted as begging, right? Like, oh, hey guys, blah, blah, blah. I feel like it's a very gray area. It's like the old school pornography definition, right? You know it when you see it. It's one thing to say, hey, community, we're trying to get to a certain goal and yeah, let's go. It's another to be like, hey, I can't make rent. I need you guys to do this, or I'm homeless or something like that, or to be like salty or aggressive, or
that's the thing. Yeah. If you're shaming, that's horseshit. That is absolute horseshit when people do that. So
it's a balance, because hey, everybody needs a little bit to it, as much as passion, as much as love and drive pushes a streamer, oh, I just love playing games and I love talking with you guys, blah blah blah. There's still a value exchange, right? The streamer needs to get something out of it just as much as the audience needs to get something out of it, and sometimes that motivation is monetary, right? It's not enough to just say, hey, you're doing a good job. It helps. It makes it feel good to see a little bling. Hey, thanks for subbing, or bling, thanks for tipping, or bling bits, or whatever. It feels good. It feels good for the person donating a little bit, and it feels good for the person receiving. And so there's always a push, I guess. You want to try and do well, but
well, obviously, even me, it's I make a living. If people don't super chat or people don't tip or something like that, obviously I don't pay my bills, right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, I've also found that if you just leave people to do what they want to do, or you're doing a good job, or there are always people that are going to try to help out and try to do stuff. But it's when you beg for it, it actually has the negative effect. When you start making stuff contingent on it, we're only going to stream if you guys, give me this much money, right now, or we're only going to do this. And it starts being contingent and stuff. Then that fucking ruins it. That doesn't even make it fun for the person who's presenting either.
Yeah.
The content creator themselves, that's no fun for them. So it's so I guess it comes down to, if you have people that are doing that, and there are industries where that actually does work, right? Like cam girls and stuff like that.
Sure.
They're token goal and do this and, blah, blah, blah. And it's that's a part of the expectation of that industry. But when you're looking at Twitch streaming, long time streaming, that's variety or a specific topic, like gaming and stuff like that, there's so many better ways to go about it. And my personal better way is just to go with the flow. Some days will be good, some days will be bad. Just enjoy it and have fun, and then let the audience decide, right? It's at the end of the day. Let's see here. Villarat, thank you for the $5, said, would you want some help with your TVs for free? I can help. I appreciate the offer. But this is something that I'm gonna have to do.
I gotta do it on my own.
Either that, or I'll probably just have Graham come over, because he's 6'8" and can flip a dump truck. So I'll just have Graham come over, just carry 3 of them at a time upstairs for me. Let's see here. Darka 1912011. Thank you for the 11 or the 10 pounds. He said, "Yo, dudes, great show as always. And I'm bumped because I lost my dragon in Ark for no idea why. Damn. Wait, I lost my dragon in Ark. Is Ark a game?
Yeah.
Okay, and he lost his dragon in Ark.
Sorry to hear that, bro.
Bumped because I lost my dragon. Oh, bummed. I think he meant bummed.
Yeah.
And it just
yeah.
Okay,
He meant bummed. Sure.
So wait a second. So Ark is a game, and you had a dragon, and then you lost him for no reason. Well, that sucks. That's a bug.
Yeah. The game
report that shit and have him have him spawn you a brand new shiny dragon. Be I lost it because of a bug in your game. I want my dragon back.
I'm upset.
Delvin42, think of the €5.49 said beard equals commitment. Dude, you have to commit to a beard. That is a commitment.
It's like it's like such low level commitment though. Like you literally just stop shaving.
Well, yeah, but dude, you gotta like eat without getting food like all over your face, like a big old like greasy cheeseburger, man. You gotta like have like,
that's true.
You have to adjust your life to suit that beard.
There is a little bit of adjustment in that sense.
It's a commitment, but man, the ladies like it. The ladies do like it.
Yeah,
at the risk of embarrassing you, even at the old PDX lands back in the day and stuff, it's all I heard about was the beard. Like that thing took on a life of its own. Hey, Pencil 3D, thank you for the 20 sexes. He said, Min Lang, he sent me a mask, Saki snack merch. What? Min Liang, he sent me a mask, Saki snack merch. Okay, Penta, I have
it sounds like
so
the guy from the guys are from Razer.
Okay,
sent him a bag of like snacks. It was like a bunch of
snacky snack. Okay. I think thank you for the translation. I was like, what? I think I was trying to read that too, literally. Hey, Devlin42, thank you the $5.49 or €5.49. He said for 2 hours of entertainment, this is a bargain. Well, thank you. We're glad you guys think so. Sorry about your dragon. Ark is fun. I've never played Ark.
The dinosaur one.
Okay, so that's like like the really old game?
No, it's not that old.
What am I thinking of? Like what was the Nintendo 64 dinosaur game? What am I thinking of?
Rock?
Yeah.
Oh, that's like an FPS. Ark is like a survival game. Like you
punch
trees and you build a base, and there's like you tame dinosaurs and shit. It's actually pretty neat.
Okay, it's a survival game. Okay, yeah. See, I still haven't even, dude. I haven't played any of the new games in the last like 2 years. I haven't played Rust. I haven't played.
Rust is okay.
What's that other game everybody's always talking about? The FPS survival game. Oh shoot,
like DayZ?
No, not DayZ. That's played out. Do people still play DayZ even?
Yeah.
Wow, that blows my mind.
I mean, there's Ark, there's Rust, there's
Turok's the
N64 one.
No, not Turok. What is it? Starts with a T. Tarkov. There it is. Tarkov. That's what I was thinking. I've not played Tarkov.
Less survival and more just FPS, like competitive, competitive FPS. But it's like it leans heavy on the simulation side of things.
Okay.
Dude, I'm telling you, I have not had a more stressful gaming experience than playing fucking Escape from Tarkov.
Oh, serious?
Dude. Because like it's full loot, right? So if you die, you start over with so anything you bring into the mission is outside of like a special locked small little case that you can carry. If you die, it's on your body. You come back to your base and whatever you had with you is gone.
Oh, so it's high stakes. Like if you go out there with a bunch of stuff that you took a long time getting, you could just lose it all like that.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the draw. That's the point.
Please tell me it's not like microtransactions where you have to like buy the shit with real money.
Not as far as I'm aware, there aren't any. I think there's like different levels of like you can buy the $60 version and you get your stash is only so big and you start with like a certain amount of money or something, and then there's like tiers in that way. But I don't think you can actually straight up buy stuff with real money in the game.
That's good because that microtransaction shit drives me nuts. Where it's like they pit a bunch of people against each other and it's like, oh, whoever buys the most stuff wins.
Right.
Like I can't remember. There was an FPS I used to play. I'm not even gonna say the name because I always get it wrong and end up naming another game that's absolutely fantastic. But it's like, but basically you can buy powered mech suits. It's like an FPS and you can buy like a powered mech suit that like gives you like infinite, like damn near infinite armor and ammunition.
Oh shit!
But you can't. It's like almost impossible to get the damn thing like playing normally. It's like something everybody just buys. So you just join a server and there's always like one dude with a mech suit just running around decimating everybody. Even though you run up and just start shooting them in the back. And like nothing happens. He like slowly turns around and just like decimates you. And I was like, I'm not playing this anymore. I'm done. I was so pissed because I loved the game for a while. And then these things started showing up like the powered mech suits and like armor upgrades and stuff that like you had to grind like 24/7 or you had to pay for it. And then it just became like Raid Shadow Legends basically. But we can segue into this Earth 2 shit. So I just found out about this yesterday.
Yeah, I'm on the website.
So I found out about this just yesterday, and I found out, unfortunately, I had to find out about it through YouTubers that are calling it out as a scam.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, what the hell is this Earth 2 thing? So apparently there's this group of developers, and one of them is a very well-known scammer who's also associated with other scam projects, who thought that, oh man, it'd be really cool if we create like another Earth inside of like a video game. Like basically like create plots of land inside of this earth and then sell those plots of land for real money to people in the real world, and then give a value to it. So basically, think of it like BitClout, right? It's like you can buy stuff, but you can't really sell it. Like there's no way to sell it. There's no withdrawal mechanism. Like they'll sell you a plot of land for $100, but they won't buy it back from you for $100 or whatever its current market value is.
Yeah.
So it's basically just a Ponzi scheme. And a bunch of people have already bought land in this game, which is like a perpetual alpha. Also, it was kicked out of Steam, by the way. Steam greenlit this, and then Steam was like, nah, this is a scam. Get out.
I'm trying to find my place.
And so people are buying land in this, and I've been watching the comments on Twitter, and everybody's like, how do I sell my land? Like, I bought my land, it went up in value. Like, how do I sell it?
Yeah.
And the company just ignores them, everybody, says, how do I sell it? So people are calling it out as a scam because it is. And the lead dev on it is like trying to claim that, oh, it's like a cryptocurrency. Like you're actually buying this and it goes up in value, but they control the servers. It's not decentralized. They get to dictate whatever the price of the land is. Like they can just say, oh, buy land today and it's worth twice as much tomorrow, quadruple. But there's no way to actually get that money out. And they just keep leading everybody on forever saying, oh, we're working on a system that's like cryptocurrency or blockchain that'll allow you to put your land in there and then trade and sell and everything. But that system is like an afterthought. Like they're just taking people's money, just like BitClout did, where it's like they're just everybody can buy in and we'll tell you that, oh, your money's gone up by this much, but you can never get it out. And that's what makes it like a Ponzi scheme. It's basically like the old Bernie Madoff Ponzi scheme. And so, but this is how it got on my map. Like I didn't know about this. Like it hadn't gained enough traction that it got on my radar until yesterday when I found out that this company, even though they're claiming that, you know, they're putting all the money into developing the game, it turns out that they're actually hiring lawyers to go after every YouTuber that says anything negative about their game.
Oh yeah, that says everything. That
like, tells you it's a scam. Like 100%.
That gives you all kinds of credibility.
Yep. So, and if you go to Earth2's website, like it's earth2.io, like up at the top, there's buy land. So you can just click buy land. You can go just pick out like, you know, their Earth2, which it looks like they're just using Google Maps. It looks like it so far. They're literally just using Google Maps. And you buy a piece of land. Like you could buy Microsoft if you want to. Actually, it looks like somebody already bought some of the Microsoft buildings. So you basically just go in here and you buy a plot of land. And they're claiming that you buy these tiles and that you can sell them back to other players and everything. But there's like literally no mechanism to sell it for what they say it's worth.
Yeah.
So you buy it and they're like, oh, we're going to charge you $100 for this plot of land or whatever. But then you go to sell it and it's like, you can't get $100 for it. You can't get hardly anything for it. So it's just a complete bullshit thing. And apparently you can go into it and actually like you can go, there's like a front end on this or something that you can actually like go into it and like do stuff with the land. But I haven't made it that far. It just looks like they took Google Maps and they're literally just selling tiles of Google Maps for money and telling people that it's worth and they can sell their shit.
Okay, so here we go. I'm trying to find my house. Okay, so it just took a minute. Okay, so there's that, and then there's that goes down this way.
Yeah, here I'm gonna go find mine.
Like, can you just punch in an address? Because like I'm literally just like following major roads. Like it's so freaking funny.
Yeah, here I just found my address.
Okay, so that's cool. We go down this way, and then. Not this one. Oh, my house ain't even on here. This map is old enough that my house is not the development I live in does not exist on this map.
Yeah, my house is here, and the picture is so old that my truck is in front of my house. So,
my house is literally trees on this map.
Yeah,
that's so fucking funny.
So it says, okay, so it won't let me buy my plot of land here. Why? So plot selected. So. Okay, so I guess they're not just adding infinite plots. Like they're just adding like certain areas, probably because they don't want it to be infinitely vast. They want to have scarcity, right? So they're changing how many tiles get sold out at any one time to artificially raise the perceived value. But the big thing that put this on my radar is that this company that's doing this, you know, effectively they're selling plots of land in freaking Google Maps, and they're using the money to hire lawyers to not only go after the YouTubers, but also to go after YouTube itself, claiming that all these people that are saying that it's a scam or having an opinion on it or doing any bad review is somehow like legally violating the terms of service on the platform. And they're trying to put legal pressure on YouTube to just blanket remove any video that talks negatively about this art too. And so they even leaked the conversation. So somebody inside the company is a mole and is leaking it because they think that it's really dishonest what this company's doing. So somebody internally leaked one of the conference calls between the board of directors And they're literally talking about their strategy that's like, you know what, these guys that are making negative videos about us, well, I did some research on them and they don't have hardly any money, so we're going to send the legal team after them. And hey, it's too bad they made their bed, they're going to have to live with the consequences. So the guy published this, one of the YouTubers that was named in this as a target or person of interest. He published the entire call publicly and said, fine, if you guys want to come for me, fucking I'm a juggernaut. He's like, I will go to court, I will take you guys on fucking toe to toe. And he published it, but now the company is like in damage control mode. They're ignoring anybody talking about it or linking to it on Twitter, because this conversation that was leaked basically said they were going to abuse lawyers. They were going to waste the money of the investors that kickstarted this thing to basically go and trash on YouTubers that are trying to out the scam. So it's very much like BitClout. It's basically just a BitClout-esque game, right? It's like you go and buy these tiles of land or whatever, and you give them money for it, and they dictate what a piece of land is worth. It's not dictated by the community or supply and demand. It's literally just whatever they seem to think it's worth. And then if you feel like you're losing money or something like that, they just go in and just boost your land price up like 1,000%, because you can't sell it for that anyways. But then it pacifies you and you're like, oh, wow, I'm worth 10 times the money. So that's how a Ponzi scheme works, right? Is you just keep making the person think they're making more and more money, so they'll never take their money out. Yeah. But the second that they need to take their money out or they have to take their money out, then it's panic mode. And if you go look at their Twitter, there's tons of people that mess with, how do I get my money out? I really need to sell my stuff. Where's the mechanism to sell my land back? It's worth much. I want to get my money out before this thing crashes or whatever. Just fucking crickets chirping. They're banning them and muting them. It's terrible.
I can't even find my place because they use an old ass map. It's nuts.
It just goes to show, man. It's like everybody has got an angle on this, and it's not even crypto. Just to be clear, this is absolutely not crypto. They're just claiming in their internal dialogues and everything, they're going to start pushing this as, oh, it's like crypto. It's like Bitcoin. It's nothing like any of those things. This entire thing is owned. What makes crypto unique is that it's owned by everybody. Crypto is decentralized. Everybody has to agree on everything that happens in the blockchain. It's all recorded. It's all verified by everybody. With BitClout and services like that, they claim they're a cryptocurrency. They're not. They own all the servers. They own the blockchain. They can change anything they want whenever they want. They can set the value whatever they want. There's nothing that's dictated by the community at all. And there's ways to buy as much of it as you want, but you can't sell it back to them. Yeah. So there's no like intrinsic value there. You can't just go, oh, I want to sell this back for the $100 that I bought it for. And it's like, no, we're not going to buy that for $100. That was a fake value made up by the company. And since you can only buy it from the company, they can dictate whatever value they want, right? Because there's really no accessible secondhand market. And now you have Earth 2 basically picking up on that same Ponzi mechanic that's like, listen, we're just going to let people buy plots of land. It's going to constantly go up in value. So everything you buy on here is guaranteed to appreciate. Nothing you buy will depreciate, because if it depreciates, that's going to make you want to sell it and get out from underneath it. So of course, everything just goes up in value. And they even have a ticker like at the top of their site when you go there. I noticed this. When you go to the site, they have like a ticker for the tiles, like going across the top saying, oh, this is like what land's worth right now. And look, it's going up. Everything's up. Everything's plus 570%, plus 1,100%, plus 4,000%, plus 592%. Yeah.
Of course it is, because like nobody can take their money out.
Yeah, because they fix the price. It's like it's just made up. So if you go buy a plot of land on the site and you give them real money and they give you this like virtual little tile of land that's on Google Maps that you're inside of it, it's like, you own nothing. You really own nothing, because this company doesn't have to give you your money back. They don't have to buy it. They only sell it to you, and they get to dictate the price. So I can see, what is land going for right now if I want to buy? Let me find something I can actually buy. Okay, so tiles selected. Okay, so I found a neighborhood where, oh wait, is this my neighborhood? Oh, now it's letting me buy my neighborhood. Okay, so let me select some tiles. Okay, so they have their own unit of money called E. So 14,198 E's to buy like a block of land in my neighborhood. Okay, so this is actually really expensive. This is way more expensive than I thought it would be.
How much is an E?
Like, I'm gonna just grab one block. So one block that's just the woods behind the house.
Account to find out how much one E is. Like,
so so price per tile in this area is 59 E. So I like how they put a $sign next to it, even though it's E. So 59 E. So let me go to details here. Let me select it. Okay, and then go to details, available resources. And each like tile has like limestone and fresh water and sand and coal and oil, but all of it's nothing right now because they haven't implemented the feature. It says, oh, these values are currently not available. So they're just like, putting future shit on there. Like, oh, your virtual land's going to have oil on it, so that's going to make the value go up. Like, why is somebody going to pay you more for your land that has oil on it when the oil has like no real value in the real world?
Just pretend
it's just all pretend. Okay, let me see. I'm trying to get real money, though. Buy it now, price 59E. Okay, let me just hit buy now and see what it is. Okay, so buy. Okay, I have to log in and create an account to buy it. Damn it. So does anybody know what an E is? Like what the value of an E is in this game?
Yeah, I don't want to make an account just to see like what the exchange rate is.
Oh no, I see it now. Okay, never mind. It depends on the country. So like in Georgia, it's $1.55 an E. In Greece, it's 3.76 E. Let's see. They have how many countries now? 6. This is so fucking dumb. Like, how is this even legal? Like, what does Google think about this? Like, they're literally selling plots of land from satellite imagery on Google. Like, it's not even their own imagery. It's they didn't even like do anything.
I'm sure like you can use the Google Maps, images for whatever you want. Because even Google Maps uses like USGS satellite photos and stuff. It's not Google satellites taking a lot of those photos.
True, that's fair point. But it is just super scammy and scummy. So
yeah,
and keep in mind that this project apparently has been in development for a very long time, and they keep releasing like updates that are like, oh, these are the new things that we've added. These are the new things that we've added. It's never anything significant. It never has anything to do with any economy other than you more effectively giving them your money.
How so weird is that? Like, do you get to wander around at all, or is it just a map?
No, apparently you can download like a game thing and go inside of this thing and like drive around the terrain, but the terrain doesn't look anything like the tile you bought, as far as I can tell.
That's weird.
It's bizarre, and I'm afraid to like try it because like I don't want to create an account in this fucking scam system.
Yeah,
because I'm sure they're just gonna sell all that data off to somebody else.
Gotta make one of those burner emails that only exist for like 10 minutes.
Those things are so cool, dude. I just saw that the other day. So yeah, it's like, okay, so let's see here. Segmented. Okay, so Earth 2. Okay, there's a web app. There's Earth 2 Terrain. It says it's an engine that renders the entire Earth with extreme terrain and vegetation detail not before seen in any game, where movement is without loading and popping artifacts at scale. This is a high performance and scaled down to lower hardware. So basically they're saying that they do have like an app that you can go in and like go around a 3D version of it, kind of like Flight Simulator. But I'm sure that all the terrain and everything is generated from Google Maps. I'm sure it's just Google like 3D view and you just drive around.
It's got to be. Yeah, because
they can't.
This map is old. This map has got to be at least 2 years old. Because like the development that I'm looking at here is way more cut out. Like they've had this like I can see. Yeah, this is just such old data.
Oh, check this out. I just clicked on. Okay, so they have a button at the bottom of the website that's like, oh, why you should buy land now. Like, okay, like here's our pitch. Why you should buy land now. It says owning land inside of Earth 2 can be one of the most exciting things you ever do. There are benefits to owning land now and potentially many more in the future as we build the core foundation. They were setting the land value. The price of land inside of Earth 2 fluctuates from country to country. And since each block is unique and each one is one of a kind and collectible digital item, each piece of land starts at 10 cents USD. Okay, that's not, I mean, that's a lot less than I thought what they were charging for a 10 meter by 10 meter tile. Our game trading platform is available and operational now. If you want to collect land somebody else owns, you can make them an offer. And if somebody wants land you hold, they can make you an offer. So they created so you have to buy the land from them. And then there's a secondhand trading system, like putting your shit on eBay from like, wow.
It's so weird.
And I'm sure they take a cut of that too. I guarantee you they do. Before buying any land from another user, please
what cut though? Because you're not pulling anything out. They already have all your money. It doesn't matter if you trade amongst yourselves. There's no cut to take. They've already got your money.
That's true, but I'd be shocked if they don't take that opportunity to put like a trading fee because they have the only system that you can trade and transfer the land with. It's not like a blockchain where it's like, oh, I can just go enter an entry in the blockchain and then somebody else owns it. You have to go through their system and their commerce system to sell.
It's all fake. This is so weird.
Yeah. It says Earth 2 is an open market. That's bullshit. The prices are determined like in the real world by demand and what another user will pay to collect the piece. That's not true because to buy the land from them, they're saying it's 10 cents. So
starts at it's like a bid.
10 cents.
It's right. And so like I'm looking at the tiles near my place and they were like close to it's like 59.09 E.
Oh geez.
Again,
okay,
I don't know how much an E costs.
Oh, and here's where it becomes a pyramid scheme now. Okay, I didn't see this component earlier. Oh, we now have the referral system online for a 5% bonus for a limited time. Bullshit, limited time. I guarantee this has been running the whole time. For a limited time, there'll be a promotional referral system that is beneficial for the provider and purchaser. Every user will have their own unique referral code, which can be found on the settings page after logging into your account. When you purchase land, users will be able to apply a referral code, and this referral code will give the purchaser 5% credit back on their purchases and 5% to the owner of the referral code. This referral code will remain active automatically on all future purchases unless the purchaser changes it again. So it's totally a pyramid scheme where you get everybody to recruit other people to buy tiles, and then that's how you make your money, is by getting other people to buy tiles, which then get other people to buy tiles. And since there's a 5% kickback,
so weird.
That means that you could literally just infinitely trade back and forth, right? Like you could game the system if you want to. Just get 3 people to just keep selling the land in a circle and taking 5% cut.
But you can't get your money out. So what's the
point?
point?
That's exactly the point. They just, every time you do this, they're getting more money. Oh, and here's a tip. You cannot use your own referral code on your own account. So be sure to ask a friend to join so you can exchange referral codes to receive even more credit. So yeah, total pyramid scheme. 100% pyramid scheme. So what happened is a bunch of YouTubers called them out for this. So they literally, like, you just go to a search for Earth 2 on YouTube. It's like one video from the company that made it and like 100 videos from people that are calling it out for the pyramid scam that it is. And it's and these guys are going hard, man. This like leaked videotape. They're like working with lawyers. They're drafting up something to go to YouTube because they're like, oh, we could just go and DMCA the videos like in the thing, but they're like, no, we need to send a better message. We need to go straight to YouTube and get these channels like completely removed from the platform because, you know, oh, and this is another thing that they're trying to do. So apparently one of the developers on this project is 16 years old. So what they're trying to get the lawyers to do is get every video taken down because by defaming this project, they're defaming a 16-year-old, which is against the policy of YouTube because you're attacking a minor. So they're basically saying by defaming this game and saying that it's a scam, you're defaming this Russian 16-year-old kid. And he's the one that's on the call. He's the one that's talking on the call. Like, oh, and they can't do that coming after a 16-year-old kid like me. So the lawyers are confident that they can get YouTube to take all these videos down, all these channels down for attack. Here's the funny thing, though, is he got this game greenlit through Steam, which you cannot greenlight something if the developer's under 18 years old. So he broke the TOS trying to get a green light on Steam in the beginning. He's broken a whole shitload of TOS himself that he even admits to in the audio. It's just so fucking dumb. It's like, why do people fall for this shit? We gotta get people to stop falling for this shit, man, because they look at it and they're like, oh man, it's like crypto. Wow, I can buy and sell and trade and make money on this. They just, oh, Amway is good. Like, no, it's not. God
Super
damn.
Weird.
It is, dude. Savage Scientist, thank you the $4.87. This sounds like a scam. Totally 100% is a scam, no doubt. Jason Christoph, thank you the $5 super chat. He said, at least they didn't say they were going to save the kids. I'm sure that'll be tactic round 2. Oh my god, like Omaze, everything on Omaze. If you guys want us to talk about anything else before we wrap up, we are wrapping up an hour early today because I gotta go get ready. I'm gonna be on Pimp My Setup, dude. I haven't been on Pimp My Setup in
cool.
very
like
time.
That's Kyle?
No, it's not with Kyle. No, it's with oh god, why can't I remember his name? Swashin? Is it Swashin? I think it's Swashin. Let me see. Pimp My Setup. Yes. So with Swashin, we're basically going to raid a bunch of other people's setups. Dude, it's gross. Oh, shit. Don't go to Pimp My Setup on Twitter. Oh, God. Somebody posted an image of a guy that he stepped on a headphone jack and it went into his foot. Oh, God. It's like, it hurts to look at this. Like, God.
Just a mental image fucking ruined my brain. Hey, 20 euros by Loris Lurso. Thank you. I just love Tech Talk. Usually I cannot watch you live, but I do listen every VOD afterward. Thank you.
Well, thank you for that.
And we especially appreciate the more valuable euro currency. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Oh, Dave, or we're not this. Sorry. Andre said, why do you not like Omaze? Because Omaze is a piece of shit for-profit company that gives like 3% of the proceeds to the charity and the rest of the money just goes to themselves and marketing. So that's why I don't like Omaze, because Omaze is always like, oh man, you $10 and you could win this car and this big sack of money and all this. Like 3% of our money goes to, you know, something. They don't say the percentage though. They're like, oh, and all the proceeds go to no, they don't. The 3% go 10 times more money goes to the YouTubers that promote Omaze than go to the actual charity they claim to support. And it's all just a big scam to run a lottery legally. And technically it is legal because they do give some of the money to charity and they do register as like a nonprofit, but they still pay themselves and the board of directors and the CEO. But when you look at the distributions, it's like one of the worst charities there is. They don't give hardly shit money to anybody and they just use it as a cover for the lottery. They're making literally millions and millions of dollars. So that's why I don't like them. And I don't like any company that has a business model like that. Like if you are making so much money yourself that you can afford to pay YouTubers like $10,000 to put you in their video, and you're claiming that you're for charity and you're helping a charity when you're giving them almost nothing, that's horseshit. And then of course the charities go along with it because it's like, for them at least they're still getting like, you know, $10,000 or $20,000 or whatever. But when you think, it's like, oh well, they took all these millions of dollars from people that if you had been straight with them and say only 3% of your $10 goes to the charity, then you might go and just give the money directly to the charity. So it's just, I don't like it. It's just, it's a lottery, and it's like, they don't present it as a lottery. They don't, and I don't like that. I think that's bullshit.
Yeah.
Oxfam used to donate 1%. That's fucking terrible. Like, I get it. I understand that charities have overhead. I understand that maybe to get the money for the charity, you have giveaways and stuff like that. But when you can give away $100,000 car and $50,000 and keep like $10 million for the board of directors and only give like $100,000 or $50,000 to the company or to the charity, yeah, it's like, that's not good. That's a bad look. That's terrible. And then the thing is, they don't have to disclose that information in the videos. So the YouTubers, they're like, oh, today we're sponsored by Omaze and it's such a good cause. The money goes to like wounded warriors. It's like, yeah, but if they didn't take 98% of the money, wounded warriors like would have had a lot more. It's like, instead, how about you just, you know, give like 50% to wounded warriors and keep 50% of it. But it's just they're greedy as fuck. They're greedy as fuck, and I don't like anybody who does that. Yorkshire Techie, thank you the £5.
Yeah, man.
Say, hey guys, here's some money to do with what thou'st wants with. What are your favorite beers and foods? I'm not a big beer guy.
Honestly, I like Hefeweizens.
You like Hefeweizens? I mean, for me, it's probably, Corona and lime's probably like my. I'm a cheap date. I'm a cheap.
Sure.
Date.
Sure.
But not a big beer drinker. Like, if it's a hot day and it's cold beer, then I'll drink a beer. But I'm not a big beer guy.
Yeah,
really.
And I love chicken wings. I'm like addicted to chicken wings. It's that and like chicken and waffles. If I see one or the other on a menu, I'm like compelled to order.
Wait, TechHellish and then Wikipedia is a scam if you look at the financials? How can Wikipedia give a scam? They're not giving the money to charity.
Well, I think they are themselves a nonprofit charity.
Yeah, but the thing is, they take the money to maintain their own service. I'm talking about somebody who's now I'd agree with you if Wikipedia was like, oh, 90% of our proceeds go to help starving children, and then they don't give anything to starving children, then I'd agree with you. But no, at least they're keeping the money to run the service, right? But again, I mean, every one of these things got an angle and a scamming on some level. But I just don't like Omaze's model of how little goes to the charity. I think that's bullshit. I think the amount of money that they keep, it's like, I understand that you have to have employees, you have to have this, but the fact of the matter is Omaze is one of the top paying ads on YouTuber videos today. It's why you see it so frequently. Like when you get the ad sheet, the one that pays $8,000 to $10,000 to $15,000 a spot, Omaze is like right up there at the top with Raid Shadow Legends. And it's because they put so much of the money into the marketing budget and almost nothing into the actual charity that they're promoting to get the people to buy the stuff in the first place. So, and I find that annoying. That's just me. Hey, maybe you don't, but I find it annoying. I do. All right, guys. Well, I think we're going to go ahead and start wrapping up today. Unfortunately, David couldn't join us. Looks like it's taken him a little long getting the kid all vaccinated, but we'll probably see him again next week. If you guys want to reach us offline, off the show, we're always over on the Twitter skulking around, so you can find all of our information and deets on our social media, and we'll be streaming on other platforms down in the video description. And we will see you guys again. I'll be on Pimp My Setup. I don't know when he releases the episode. I think it's not done live, I don't believe. So whenever the Pimp My Setup episode comes out, the next one, I'll be in it. And I think we shoot here in like an hour. So I will see you guys next week, Saturday, 10 a.m., same bat time, same bat place here on YouTube. Otherwise, you can find us all over on Twitch and on Twitter. And we appreciate all the support, you guys. Thank you so much for all the super chats. You guys are freaking awesome. You guys are legends. And we love your face. And as soon as I start ripping this nerd cave apart, hopefully tomorrow, because I think tomorrow I finally have a free day to do some stuff, and my knees starting to feel a little better. So we'll see if we can get them new screens up here. And if I do, I'll take some pictures of it so you guys can see. I'm really excited to get those up here. All right. Peace out, guys. And we'll see you next time.